Thank you so much, Randy. Thank you to the whole Shake Shack team. This is really going to help us out. And did you say free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this? Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment. Thank you to Randy Garuti and, of course, Danny Meyer, who's doing so much to help us with the recovery, and the entire team. I've got to finish chewing for a moment. I think that would be more dignified, don't you think? Yeah. So, everyone, we're going to keep rolling out incentives. We're going to keep making it easy. We're going to keep making it fun. We really, really need to get everyone vaccinated. So keep watching, keep joining in.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Blessings, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Rawchaa, the Gathered of Christ Church. Lawya will be in 1 moment. Let's go. Welcome to Wednesday's broadcast, where we are what? Let me show you here. Where we are decoding the times. Boy, do we have a broadcast prepared for you, brothers and sisters, this evening. May the Most High be with you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Yes, I'm praying for you all. You pray for me. You pray for the work. Hit the like button as we decode the times. Let's go in. Let's go. Hit that like button. Let's do it. The East is where we're from. Come on, hit that like button.
The 12 tribes of Israel.
Let's do it. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went to the Euphrates. Thank you, Maria. The Lord held the water still. Hit that button. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. Hit it.
Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel, yeah. Zebulon from Panama, yeah. The North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, our highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us
At gunpoint.
together our wives and children then sold us.
Hit that like button.
In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here.
A higher gather us. Whoa.
Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. Our highest gathering Israel. The Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. Our highest gathering Israel.
Blessings, blessings, brothers and sisters. I'm the elder, one of the elders of the Gathered of Christ Church. And yes, we welcome you to our Wednesday night broadcast every Wednesday where we decode the times. Well, tonight, brothers and sisters, we're going to take a trip down memory lane. Memory lane, okay? And the reason we have to do this, brothers and sisters, is because many would like to ignore what happened a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, during the time of the so-called coronavirus, COVID-19 rollout, or the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Now, there's a deafening silence from those who were deputized as citizens and gave everyone around them a hard time with the people in particular, brothers and sisters, who had doubts concerning whether or not the vaccine was actually safe, who had doubts, but they were pressured. People were deputized. They were as if they were hired by the government themselves to push this, claiming that what? People were getting mad at their own relatives, right? Cursing family out. Weren't inviting their own families into their homes. As a matter of fact, cutting off relationships because people had doubts. You had some people locking out their own children during the time of the pandemic and say, if you don't get shot, you don't come into the house. Right? And I think most people out there, brothers and sisters, forgot altogether the climate and what we've yet to hear from those who are pressuring everyone to get the shot. Folks, we are yet to hear an apology. There's this deafening silence while at the same time many are burying those or have buried their loved ones who they pressured into getting the shot. So the question today, we're going to talk about this and we're going to deal with it from a biblical framework. What happens when the world falls into a strong delusion? Is it prophecy what we witnessed a few years ago, where most people who are not grounded with the Almighty in faith? Is this what happens when people who truly don't have faith and lose their common sense to a satanic agenda? Could it be? Thank you. Oh, thank you, Carol. I really appreciate you. Maria, I really do. Thank you. I want hit that like button because we have a great broadcast tonight. Why? Because, folks, if we don't learn from that experience, we may what? Be doomed to repeat that error. Now, myself, you know how we stood with it. This church, we stood 10 toes down with the Most High and said, well, listen, we believe that those shots are in the scriptures in the book of Revelation that falls on those who are without faith. We stood 10 toes down and we proved what that delusion was according to 2nd Baruch when it highlighted a stupor would find its way into the earth. Well, that and more will be discussed because, folks, we've yet to hear an apology by those who deputize themselves as officers working for the government without getting paid a dime, pressuring their loved ones to take the vaccine. Now, it's your body, your choice. But I believe, according to the Bible, and we're going to go into the Bible today, that what? That was a precursor. It foreshadows a greater prophecy that the whole world will experience when the satanic leaders of the earth rolls out the mark of the beast. Hold on, let me check with Lawya because before I jump in, I'm about to jump all the way up with this, and I want to make sure. Hold on, I'm going to make sure see what Lawya doing because I'm about to roll it out. I got everything queued up for y'all today. Everything. Lawya, you ready?
I'm setting up now.
All right, just text me when you set up because I'm going in.
Yes, sir.
My brother. Man, what a great brother. What a great brother Elder Lawya is. Loyal, strong, man. Ready for spiritual war. When the world falls into a strong delusion. Well, let's read this out of the Bible. I mean, some of us would like to forget that time period. Understandably so. Some of us. Okay? I'll never forget that period. Some weird stuff was going on where, for the first time in my history, in my life, that I see the hospitals had a mandate to separate people from their own family. Okay? From their own family. In the last seconds of their life, they convinced us to allow our loved ones around family. Around strangers. And a lot of these strangers were contracted to work in these hospitals. Some of these doctors who were there during the pandemic, they're not even in some of these hospitals. Who were these people? Okay? They convinced the world to allow our grandmothers, our mothers, our loved ones to be totally separated from us. The first time I've ever seen anything like that in life. And then on top of that, the media, we're going to show you that tonight. The media, folks, were inundating our people under legacy media. I'm going to show you a few of those today. Whether it be entertainment medium, when it comes to media, whether it be the regular news, there was no escaping the campaign. There was no escaping this. It turned family against one another. All of that. What does the Bible say concerning it? Well, let's go to the book Thessalonica. Let's go to Thessalonica real quick, where it says what? I'm going to read it through. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yeshua, Mashiach, that's Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as the day of our anointed Messiah is at hand. Don't be shaken. Listen to this. Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day, which is the day of our Lord and Savior, shall not come except there be a falling away first. And that man, hold on. 1 second. What? Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So guess what? Paul was telling those who lived at that time, right after Christ's death, to look to what? As far as prophecy, the falling away. He says, listen, we haven't lost Jerusalem yet. So Christ isn't going to return yet until what? Until our people lose Jerusalem. That's the falling away. It's not the great apostasy like they're talking about in modern day Christianity. The falling away is what? The children of Israel fallen by the edge of the sword, like Christ details in the book of Luke. See, we had to fall away first. And what? That man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So before Christ returns, the synagogue of Satan would be exposed. The people Satan have been using to bring forth his order on earth. And as you can see with Candace Owens, as you can see what happened with Kyrie Irving, as you can see Whitney Houston, before she died, she went and got baptized in the River Jordan, knowing that she was an Israelite according to bloodline. A lot of you didn't know that. Look it up online. Candace Owens is out there exposing the man of sin, the people Satan have been using for a long time, who went over into that land in 1948, not for the Israelite restoration, but for something else. And we're going to talk about that tonight. The son of perdition, who does what? Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? So you have satanic people who worship Satan himself, or Samael. All right? Who sits where God's people are, claiming to be the people. It's all connected. Remember ye not that I was yet with you when I told you these things? And now you know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And we know He's coming after Rome. He's coming after the Vatican. What's going on in Israel today is a direct result of the colonization that came out of Rome. It's no different in Israel what they've done to the North American Indians when you view the rules of ethnic cleansing. It's the same thing. You go into a land, you poison, you harm the people, you come in peace, and what do? You demonize the people. And after you demonize, you destroy, and subsequent to that, you take their land. What we see in the Middle East right now with the so-called state of Israel is an extension of Rome taking over the earth, sitting in the temple of God, showing themselves that they are God. Now listen to this. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Listen to this. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. Listen to this. Of them that perish. Hit that like button. Listen to this. Because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. For this cause God shall send them strong delusion. Remember this verse, folks. A strong delusion that they should believe a lie. So those who aren't down with the Almighty and have true faith towards God in Christ would what? Be deceived. During any crisis, they'll choose the government's solution that's been engineered through fear. So if you're down with God, you trust God. And guess what? It's moments like what happened under the coronavirus that show forth whether or not a person truly believes in the Almighty. Many people was put to the test throughout the earth, millions, and many failed. Many failed. Let me bring in Elder Lawya. A strong delusion. Let's talk about it. Let me bring in Elder Lawya.
Shalom, sir. Can you hear me?
Blessings, young man. Thank you. I'm glad you were able to come in before I really got into the meat of it, because we're gonna try to have a short broadcast tonight, but a very effective broadcast, right?
Yes,
I don't
indeed.
want to digress into nothingness and have our brothers and sisters out there lose the point of this broadcast tonight. So we're gonna make it nice, short, and effective, right? Let me bring you in here. 1 second. Let me bring you here. All right, bear with me, brothers and sisters, while I adjust myself with Elder Lawya here, right? Where is he? All right, bear with me. And Elder Lawya, thanks again.
Yes, sir, as always.
All right, let's see here. Not there. 1 second, bear with me. Ah, there he is. There he is, Elder Lawya. Now let me adjust this, Elder Lawya, 1 second. There it is. 1 second. All right, all right, all right. That's me there. All right. You can hear me clearly, right, Elder Lawyer?
Loud and clear.
All right. You see, it's cold in this room, so I had to put on my Soldier of Christ sweater. All white with my fringes on. Soldier of Christ. So let's jump in. And guess what? We'll be in this war until our Lord and Savior cracks the atmosphere. That's right. In it to win it. All right. I have Elder Lawyer there. Thank you, Tam. I really appreciate you. Bless you. Bless you. All right, Elder Lawyer, we're jumping right in. That's good. We're side by side there. And let me go here. All right. Make sure that I can bring you in. Hold tight while I straighten these layers out real quick, brothers and sisters. Bear with me. Bear with me. There go Lawyer there. My brother there. There he is. All right. And let's make sure, because I have a lot to go into right now. All right. All right, got that. You know, I'm going to keep the Academy logo there. It's all good. And we're going to put 2nd Baruch right here. All right. We're going to put 2nd Baruch right here. Oh, yeah, folks. Are we in for a real good broadcast tonight? All right. I hope you all can hear us clearly. Where we go into the stupor here. 2nd Baruch. All right. All right. Boom. All right. 1 second. All right, let me bring you in, Lawyer. Bear with me. Hit the like button, folks. We're jumping in. Thank you for your patience. Boom, there he is. All right, Elder Lawyer, I don't know if you heard my short monologue earlier.
I did, yes, sir.
You did?
Yep.
All right. I was going into the fact that those who were skeptical during the time of the pandemic were actually ridiculed. It was the majority of the population stopping for the vaccine, shaming people for being skeptics. Almost to a point to where the media, Lawyer, was actually instigating this. So to believe it or not, many fights broke out where you had some people convinced that you not getting a vaccine threatened their grandmother. Suppose you go into a supermarket. They were coming with all these scenarios, and my grandmother's there. You end up making people believe that by breathing, that made you a lethal weapon against society. Many people were thinking that. They weaponized the people against one another, where just existing made you a threat. That's how tense it was. Right? So I'm just shocked that now that a lot of the information is coming out, with Fauci pleading the fifth, actually. And I wonder if anyone that was during that time was standing for the vaccine, I wonder if they would be what? Respectful enough to tell all the people in their family that they were wrong and give an apology. Listen, Don't give the excuse to why you were being utilized. Admit it. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? And on top of that, it's not about I told you so. It's about, Lawya, what will I do if I'm faced with that same decision in the future? Right? It comes down to, okay, I was wrong, but if I'm ever challenged with a decision like this, I'm going to stand with God. Right? I mean, social distancing. Fights were being broken out if somebody, believe it or not, folks, some people lost friends because of this. They lost family because of this. Family refused to speak to one another. All of this is as if Satan is just moving people against one another and watching his handiwork using the airwaves. A strong delusion. So let's jump in. Let's jump in. Let's talk about it. When the world falls into a strong delusion, what will you do? Elder Lawya, this ain't even funny, but I have to play this. And I'm going to play it and put it up here because I want you to hear. And folks, believe it or not, what I'm about to show you, there is a reason these campaigns worked. There's a psychology behind all of their campaigns. Right? Let me get it here. And folks, believe it or not, they knew, folks, that the people, let me get the video here. They knew that the people would actually fall in line. They knew it. All the data was there concerning the minds of the people and the fears of the people. And with them losing the eyeballs and ears of those who were coming to the internet instead of legacy media, they were going to dismantle legacy media anyway. So what they were going to do is use the last bit of time they would have using regular media to convince those who still believed in it. Okay? People come to the internet not to get mainstream, but to get what? An opposing view. Even a dissenting view. Why? Because someone has to be objective, especially when it seems as if government is now running the media. The press, folks, the freedom of press, folks, that law is in place so that those in the media, they're supposed to challenge the government. They're not supposed to go along with it. The freedom of press is to keep the government in line. At least that's what they claim it's for. So if the press was truly doing their job, let me tell you, they would have been more critical instead of being utilized as a trust mechanism to have people fall in line. So let's go there. I have a few videos I'm about to show you all. And everything is fair use. And for the sake of a respectful channel here, all praises be to the Most High, there's a lot of alleged going on here. There will be some alleged, right? But Elder Lawya, what I'm going to do real quick here All right. 1 second. What I'm going to do is pull this up, and I'm going to play this again. I'll play it once more for you all. Right? One second. There's a few things I'm going to pull up here. Bear with me. All right, Elder Lawya, we're going to play it again.
Thank you so much, Randy.
All right. Let me put this mic to the side. All right, Elder Lawya, you can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right, great. So I'm gonna put myself on the main mic so that you can actually hear out loud some of the ridiculous campaigns. And then we're gonna reflect back to this and ask, why was campaigns like this, Elder Lawya, effective? Why was campaigns like this effective? What campaigns, one might ask? Check it out. Fair use for educational purposes.
Thank you so much.
For educational purposes, Elder Lawya, check this out. Right here. Boom. Why was campaigns like this so effective? Fair use.
So much, Randy. Thank you to the whole Shake Shack team. This is really going to help us out. And did you say free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this?
Fair use.
Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment. Thank you to Randy GOCC and, of course, Danny Meyer, who's doing so much to help us with the recovery, and the entire team. I've got to finish chewing for a moment. I think that would be more dignified, don't you think? Yeah. So, everyone, we're going to keep rolling out incentives. We're going to keep making it easy. We're going to keep making it fun. We really, really need to get everyone vaccinated. So, keep watching, keep joining in.
So here's a question. Elder Lawya. I need you to get 2nd Baruch, the 25th chapter. Looking back at that, right? Looking back at that, brothers and sisters, you would think, now that you're in your common sense, surely grown adults wouldn't fall for something as foolish as that. Right? How is it? Why did they think that campaign would be effective? What did they know about society? I'm going to show you. It's like they're talking to 3-year-olds. Oh, hey, you want a lollipop? Hey, If you do this, you can have dessert. What did they know about society? And folks, we're not talking about any dumb people. We're talking about highly educated people with degrees, intelligent people. How did they know a campaign like that would drive some people to their doctor offices or whatever the case is, or the clinic to get vaxxed up? Check this out. Elder Lawya, what is it? Let's talk about it. Let's go to, folks, we're talking about 500 years, about nearly 500 years before Christ was born. Over 2,000 years ago, over 2,500 years ago almost. Folks, where the prophets were shown our current time. Let's go here, Elder Lawya, the second Baruch, real quick, right? Out of the Pseudepigrapha of the Old Testament. It's the same Baruch from the Apocrypha. What did they know about the people? How is it some stupid campaign would convince a people? You know why? Through the psyop, they successfully move people out of common sense. They've already tested what happens when people are locked up without socially gathering, and what? The negative psychological effects it has on a population. Okay? You see, and this is why many people aren't going to apologize, because really people are embarrassed. They don't know how, after coming out of the psychosis, because that's what it was. Okay? They really don't know how the government was able to convince them to do something they would regularly detest or turn down, as if they were a separate person from that individual who made the choice. Well, what is it? What is it? Let's read it real quick. I'm going here, one second, right here. Elder Lawya, if you will, let's read 2nd Baruch, the 25th chapter, right? And let's start at the first verse.
Yes, sir. This is 2nd Baruch 25:1. And he answered and said unto me, Thou too shalt be preserved till that time, till that sign which the Most High will work for the inhabitants of the earth in the end of days.
We're living in the end of days. Go on.
This therefore shall be the sign. When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
A what?
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth. A spirit was sent in the earth all at once. Those who don't believe in the Most High, they fall for the strong delusion. Right? I'm going to show you. And they what?
And they shall fall into many tribulations. And again, when they shall fall into great torments.
Read.
And it will come to pass when they say in their thoughts by reason of their much tribulation, the mighty one doth no longer remember the earth.
These are people who have lost faith in God, who used to be Christian, God-fearing people, who now doubt God's existence. Okay? Who actually feel some level of regret for the time they put in serving him. And because things didn't work out like they thought it would, they become angry at the Most High himself. So believe it or not, that generates a spirit. The governments of this earth, led by Satanists, it generates a spirit that they can now manipulate. At one time, it doesn't matter what the government would try to do. Guess what? Our answer would be what? We're going to wait on God. That would be our answer. It's in the hands of God. It's in his hands. The mighty one do no longer remember the earth. Read.
Yea, it will come to pass when they abandon hope.
That they abandon hope. Read.
That the time will then awake.
And then when people give up hope, guess what? The Most High is going to say now, it's game on. Now it's time for my son to begin his return. See? Now it's game on. And those who have lost faith or fell back will fall into the strong delusion. And let me tell y'all, folks, I tell you all over and over again, listen to this. Why are we witnessing unexplained aggression, confusion, and all of that? And a lot of people would like me to answer to confusion. I don't have to, because I know what it is. It's the stupor. What we're witnessing in the earth, folks, with some of the people we used to know or love, these are the people who took the stuff but didn't tell anyone. And I'm going to go into it. These are the people. Now, if you're against the church and against us, and we told people not to do it, those who are against the church and against the work, they're going to do the exact opposite, thinking they're spiting us. But by doing so, they took on a spirit. I'm going to show you how this works. Folks, we're just pieces for the Most High, showing forth what he said to do. Okay? And warning you from the wrath to come according to his will, his prophecies. Some people believe that it's us when we say something. Let's look at the word stupor again, Elder Lawya. Read that last piece for me, where it says what? The second verse.
Verse 2. This therefore shall be the sign, when a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth, and they shall fall into many tribulations.
Now let's stop there. A stupor shall fall into the earth. Folks, 2,500, almost 2,500 years, the Most High gave Baruch this prophecy. Let's see what the word stupor means.
Stupor.
A stupor, listen to this, is a medical and psychological state of reduced responsiveness, dazed confusion, and partial unconsciousness. Look at that. Under regular circumstances, a grown person in their right mind would have examined things critically and would have stood off with what? Much caution, without fear. Not if something is going on with your psychological state. Dazed, you're confused, you're out of your mind, and you have partial unconsciousness. Sleepwalking, where they'll beat you down to a degree. Psychological torture, to a degree that leads one to actually give up to the pressure. A person in a stupor is barely awake. God said he was going to put a stupor in the earth, folks. And it was a whole test run throughout the earth just 3-4 years ago, showing those who truly believe in God, who truly believe in the Most High, opposed to those who claim they believe on him. It reacts very little to the world around them and needs strong or repeated physical stimulation to respond. More, a low awareness, slow reactions. The Bible says a stupor will, what? Will affect the earth. A stupor.
Stupor.
Now let's check it out. Fair use. Everyone claimed that we were lying, or I heard nurses running around, Elder Lawya claiming that, hey, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. This is my profession. I see the people in the hospital. Blase, 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 blah. Well, how much was it theater so that the nurses can come back home to carry their water? Not to say that what they were seeing and witnessing wasn't reality. Suppose some of the sicknesses, hypothetically, allegedly, were engineered to give the optics that was needed for the nurses to believe what the TV was saying. Don't forget, the whole earth was a stage at that time. Okay, think about it. All the stores closed. It was straight what? A ghost town outside. Everyone afraid to go outside. No reason to go out because all the corporate stores were in tow. They were all standing in line. They were all towing the line according to every word coming out of Fauci's mouth. Every word. They were towing the line. It was a ghost town outside. The police was scared. The law enforcement, all of that. Everyone was scared. Fire, everyone was scared. Everyone was in the house. Right? So now that you have what? You have everyone in the house. Now the programming happens where it's 24 hours inundation. 24 hours. It's in your mind. Now they're actually doing what? Illustrating, giving you the optics of outside, the same place people are afraid to walk out to see for themselves. Now they can shape your reality in solitude. See? Anyone spoke against it, they were immediately censored. All of that. Channels struck, people saying things and saying, channels being taken, threatened, strikes. All these things were happening, folks. Only for what? Only for the same doctor to come around full circle and plead the fifth over 111 times. Fair use for educational purposes. Anthony Fauci. And folks, did y'all also know that this is the same doctor that came up with that bogus HIV AIDS connection? Right? So that they can claim that there's AIDS going on over in Africa and all of that, and put some of the sick people who are sick for other reasons under the label of AIDS. Oh, y'all don't believe this? Look at this. Fauci the Jesuit, look. Fauci. HIV, AIDS. Look at this. Dr. Fauci led the United States HIV/AIDS research for decades as the doctor of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Even doctors back then was telling him there is no connection between the two. They start off with gay people and all of that and say it's a gay disease only to redirect it to their intended target. Next thing you know, it was an African disease and it's in our neighborhoods and they're telling us to get tested. The same way. They claim that the disease started off in Wuhan and then it ends up where they're trying to pressure us to get vaccinations in Harlem, Brooklyn, Chicago, North Philadelphia, Compton. I'm teaching. I'll call you when I'm done, okay?
Okay, I'm here in the back, okay?
All right, no problem.
Okay.
All right. Y'all see this? We don't even know that this guy he came up with the HIV/AIDS connection, folks. So now what? Now what happens is funding can now go towards this new disease out of our taxpayers' money to fund these campaigns. And with these campaigns, it's depopulation for us. So why did they say it was a gay disease first? Well, of course they would say it's a gay disease. Because if they're first, then these people would be in position as the overseers over all of the programs, being that they were the first people who was infected with it. So now LGBTQ will be over all of the nonprofit money to campaign this stuff in our neighborhoods. See how it works? Allegedly. Fair use. 111 times, over 100 times, he pleaded the fifth. Fair use.
Fauci in the hot seat. Major fireworks on Capitol Hill as Republicans pummeled the former head of the National Institutes of Health with questions about the COVID pandemic. But on the advice of his lawyers, he pled the fifth repeatedly. As Justin Finch reports, the man once known as the most famous doctor in America is now fighting for his reputation.
The man once hailed as the nation's savior got pummeled today as he pleaded the fifth, a grand total of 111 times.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, on the advice of counsel, on the advice of counsel.
When his attorney attempted to speak up for him,
security, please remove him from the room.
He was expelled from the hearing.
Thank you to you for your service to this nation.
Democrats came to Fauci's defense.
And it is unfortunate that you have been put in the position that you are in today.
But the hearing was dominated by Republicans who hold the now 85-year-old Fauci responsible for mistakes made during the COVID pandemic.
You got rich while people were dying. Who the
Now, mind you, folks, all of this is just theater.
Right.
What we're witnessing, Elder Lawya, is the public slap on the wrist so that people out there will believe that he was held accountable after millions of our people and all the people we're buried and still buried. To make people believe that there were some consequences for the deaths we have now been experiencing after the pandemic. And then some people out there will trust that these politicians stood up against the bad Fauci. Folks, they always have a fall guy. Okay? But again, let me go through the steps that made people believe what the government were pushing. Fair use.
Understanding that you are under oath, The American people would like to understand your reasoning, your rationale for why you chose to fund the research in Wuhan. There have been, intelligence agencies, the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, have all come to the conclusion that more likely than not, the virus came from the lab in Wuhan. And so we'd like to know what was the rationale, what was the discussion, how, what went behind the decision to fund the research in Wuhan. How did you come to the conclusion that a totalitarian country would be capable of doing this in a BSL-2 lab, a lab that lacked the security? What was the reasoning? And are you sorry, basically, for making the decision? Would you, given another chance, say, well, gosh, circumstances now, as I know it, maybe it wasn't a wise thing. Can you explain to the committee why you chose to fund this dangerous research in China?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
In the red folder on your table is a copy of Section 192 of Title II of the U.S. Code. Your counsel has been provided a copy as well. That section makes it a crime for a witness appearing under subpoena to refuse to answer any questions pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Now, mind you, folks, his original, look it up, his original claim to how the disease came to be, folks, was it must have been from a wet market in China where it was unsanitary environment in a wet market where one of their wild disease beasts had a disease that jumped to human. This is what this guy was telling people. But in the hearing, come to find out, not allegedly, that they did the testing over in the United States first and took it over there in a laboratory. So now they said gain of function research, the only strain that they had could only be generated through a laboratory. It can't happen through the wild. This is what the Senate hearing and all these other people, y'all don't got to go through it. They're telling people, no, there's no virulent disease like this without man's hand in it through testing it. It's called gain of function. Right? So was there a disease that was created? Absolutely. But the driving force was to make something what? So virile that eventually people would run to the vaccine. They'd rather you deal with the gain of function and not tell anybody about what are the ill effects of something that they can create only in a few months, when it takes 5 to 15 years normally to create one of these shots. Right? But I'm not all going into the scientific parts of this. We want to deal with the state of mind of our people who would believe this guy. And the majority of people took it with the threat of losing their job over them. The majority. Which means what? These corporate jobs, these jobs were complicit in this. Let's get the next one. Right? Fair use. Go through them. But of course, they had to make sure our people, they wanted to make sure we were convinced. Right? You know where I'm going, Elder. You know where I'm going. They had the bag opened up. Millions and millions and millions of dollars was going into campaigns for anyone who could convince our people in particular to take it. Right? Let me show you. show you. Fair use. Before that, let me get here first.
Dr. Jeffress, there is so much talk these days about
the Christian Broadcast Center. The Christian Broadcast Center. People who claim to believe in Christ. Let's see what the Christian pastors were telling the people.
Dr. Jeffress, there is so much talk these days about the vaccine. It's now available. What is your advice to Christians about whether to take it?
Well, you know, Lori, for the last
fair
few
use.
months, millions of Christians have been praying for healing, for relief from this pandemic. And I believe God brought about these vaccines. And for Christians not to take the vaccine on some manufactured faith reason, to me, it's like calling 911 when your house is on fire and then refusing to allow the firemen into your home. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. We shouldn't be surprised that God uses science many times to accomplish his purpose. I mean, when you...
Elder Lawya, I need you to give me both of those scriptures. You know where I'm going on science, right? And what science should we trust in that where the doctor behind it must plead the fifth over 111 times in fear of being what? Incarcerated or worse. What science that you're standing behind where there's a need to plead the fifth? Right? So his lawyer has what? Has advised him that what you say here can criminalize you because you weren't honest with the people. If the people knew, they probably would have what? Not chanced it. So they lied. Christians, Christian pastors, T.D. Jakes, not just T.D. Jakes, there were Hebrew teachers too. IUIC, they were together saying, well, hey, there's always vaccines. I'm making that a choice for them to choose on their own, right or wrong. No, you don't say that. You say, no, we believe in Christ. UPK, they was up there saying, hey, we should take it. Let's open back up. We should open back up. Oh, I thought the white man was the devil. But now you're going to trust him. And then for those who didn't believe anything at all, only one under the stupor, elder, would run to get one after this. After seeing this. Fair use. Fair use.
You're finna online date chat, find a mate chat, open up the okay ass, okay yeah, profile picture looking tight chat, nice chat, got your bio reading right chat, precise chat, but before you find a date chat, you gotta wait chat, gotta go vaccinate chat, get it straight chat, girl you look good, want you vax that thing up, you's a handsome young brother, want you vax that thing up, dating real life, you need to vax that thing up, feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up.
Vax that thing up. And he's throwing vaccine cards like dollar bills. The Most High said, the stupid shall take the earth. Right? Now, I would show Stephen A. right here, but let's go to Stephen A. 4 years ago. So whether you like hip hop, they had vaxxed that thing up. Then they had people playing in a dome and all these others. Stick figures and cardboard cutouts for an audience if you wanted to see any sports events. Folks, I'm having this broadcast tonight because some people out there would like to forget the insanity that was pushed on the world's population. Okay? I'm going to remind you. Fair use. For educational and prophetic purposes only.
If you're angry about the situation, but it feels like you always flip it back because
Kyrie said, nah, he ain't going to take it. And was ostracized for it.
Kyrie. Well, listen, it's two things. I've done both. The same guy that's going at Kyrie is the same guy that says the mandate should be lifted.
But you can't blame Kyrie if you're talking. If you see what the situation is for the situation.
Oh, I most certainly can, because what did we say? Must I rewind the clock and remind you what we argued about? This is where you and I are diametrically opposed. So let's remind our audience of where we stand. I am of the position that because you got cats to go to Brooklyn, that because the league mandate is what it is, and because 99% of the league ultimately made the sacrifice because they got a job to do, you should have done it too. You disagree. You talk about putting self in your body and all of this other stuff, and I respect that, but I disagree because my hope, listen, and bottom line is this, I didn't necessarily want to take the vaccine.
You can't respect that and disagree too. See, that's why you got to slow this guy down. If you respect that, then you can't disagree. You can't have both. It's his body. Grown men. Kyrie was operating like a grown man.
Vaccine, but I was going to because I knew it was the right thing to do, specifically because my employer says, listen, you got to work. You got a team to look out for. This is what our conditions are. I'm looking at millions upon millions of people across the country. This is what the mandate is. I'm looking at the NBA. A lot of your teammates did not want to take the vaccine, but they did it. You are holding out. Fine. But in the process of holding out, just understand, you could potentially cost your team a championship because with Kyrie on the floor, with KD, they are that lethal. They can beat anybody. That's Milwaukee. That's Philly. That's Miami. I'm not saying definitively it will happen, but I believe they can beat it.
How the Hades, how the hell? Let me go straight to it. How the hell can you get a championship if you have to walk into that light after adverse events and you may not make it after doing it? What championship can you get but what, the bosom of Abraham? Fair use.
Anybody, the Warriors, the Phoenix Suns, them two together on their game could win the whole thing. And in the end, when we look at them, because we know what KD's going to bring, when we look at them, if they don't do it, what's going to be the reason it didn't happen?
So, is Kevin Durant angry at Kyrie Irving?
No, clearly not.
He's not.
Oh, really? We want to go
He's
here?
not.
We want to go here.
I'm going there. I've already been there.
Go ahead.
He's not angry at Kyrie.
Go ahead.
So I get your
Kevin
frustration.
Durant, he did this. Where I'm going. He did this, Kevin Durant. Go ahead.
Kevin's angry at the situation. That's what I've heard. I mean, Nick Friedel was on our show earlier talking about multiple conversations with Kevin Durant about the fact about the situation being something that KD's more angry about than Kyrie Irving. Okay. So all I'm sitting here saying is, yeah, it's frustrating as a fan to see Kyrie Irving one night drop 60. Right. I get where your animosity, where your frustration comes from.
I want to see him.
You want to see people ball out. But what I'm trying to tell you is because he's not giving you what you want, not giving fans what. Like, it's still a part of the situation for him. Wow. And it's because he's not vaccinated.
Tell me. Hold on. Kevin Durant, this is not me. Jay Williams started this. I wasn't going here. Okay, let's go to KD. Kevin Durant. Is he playing?
Yes.
Why is he playing?
Because he wants to win.
Okay. So
and he doesn't have an issue with taking the vaccine.
Excuse me. He didn't necessarily want to take it from what I was told. He just did it because guess what? That's the mandate.
That's fair use.
And it's the mandate he wants.
Yes.
Don't give me choices. We all know everybody has the right to make their choice.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like, well, I felt a little bit pressured to take because I want to win a championship.
No.
Okay.
No. What I'm saying is Kevin Durant wants the ball. Kevin Durant wants to win the championship, and in order to do it, he had to go and get vaccinated. At the end of the day, when is Jay Williams? I'm talking directly to you. When is Jay Williams going to step back and go like this? You got the right to make that choice.
You do.
But your choice is costing y'all a championship. When are you gonna say that?
That's fine, but it's
When are you gonna say it?
because
Say it.
you don't put enough credence into unprecedented times.
Wow.
You tie everything that's happened with Kyrie before in the past, which you and I have gone back. I've been on the same side with you.
Now, guess what? They used Stephen A's popularity, his loud voice, at a time when many people were uncertain. But the corporate money was behind him, standing at the mountaintop, shaming those who was skeptical. Right? I need y'all to think about this, folks. But guess what, folks? You know what happens? Because we're coming into a new era, a new time. I'm going to tell you right now. If there's some scandals out there, whatever the case is, because they always have something on people out there when it comes to relationships and all these others. Believe it or not, folks, they're going to roll it out before it's over. They always come after these guys when their usefulness has been used up. And for the last year or so, right, Stephen A has been changing his language. Okay? Now he comes back and says what? After they was calling him stupid, they were calling him less than a teammate, selfish.
Welcome to the special edition Stephen A. Smith Show. I'm out on vacation, or what have you, but I felt compelled to come
Fair
over
use.
here. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have to do something that I've done in the past, but I haven't had to do but so much in my career. I just feel compelled to do it today. And that's to issue an apology. There's several people that we all owe apologies to. And I'll put myself at the front of the list. But none more so than the apology that I owe to Kyrie Irving. Now, I know that people didn't see, and his name has not come up over the last several months too much because he sustained a devastating knee injury that kept him out this entire season.
Fair use.
From playing with the Dallas Mavericks. Probably could have came back early if they were playing for something, but since they weren't playing for much because they were losing basketball games, and Cooper Flag was continuing to develop and ascend, he wasn't really needed. So Kyrie Irving eventually will be back next season, and he'll be the superstar guard that we know him to be. A scoring machine, one of the greatest handles we've ever witnessed, one of the greatest skilled players we've ever seen in NBA history. But this is not about him, the basketball player. This is about him, the man. The reality is that Kyrie Irving, no matter what we think, may have been more right than we have given him credit for, and unquestionably was more vilified than he deserved. And ladies and gentlemen, it starts with me. Keep telling y'all before on many occasions, I'm a man. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But when it comes to Kyrie Irving, I can't apologize strongly enough.
That's honorable. It's honorable with the brother apologizing. That's good. But it's too late. It's too late. In the event of a situation where a man is taking a stand, if you don't understand it, just say nothing at all. Be enough respect. You claim you respect a man's decision, who's standing on what? What he believes is right. America, right? That's what y'all call it? Where you can stand on your choices. You tell a woman who has a baby and don't and having questions on whether or not she should have it. It's her body, her choice. When it comes to getting rid of a life. But you got a man who's seeking to preserve his life with what? Not knowing the ingredients in an uncertain vaccine that came out of nowhere. And yet you're going to berate him. Talk down on him like he's a child. So it's too late. You're supposed to stand with what's right at the time it's going down. What Christ would do in the event of a crisis. He's not going to wait till the smoke clears. No, he's going to make a choice in the midst of the fire, in the midst of the crisis. And folks, this is a cautionary tale. Because like I keep saying, I've been saying it for years, that was a test run. Who will choose getting something foreign in their bloodstream for the sake of keeping employment? Who would do it? Who would choose life over the government's choices? The whole world will be tested again.
You know, you may be wondering what I'm talking about because you may not be paying but so much attention to politics. I do. I always have and I always will.
And listen, this is why people tell us, hey, why do we talk about politics? Everything is politics. Don't tell me it ain't politics when you're going into your home and everyone has a TV on and coming down on you for not getting a vaccine. That's politically driven. That's affecting the common sense of the world.
Not from an aficionado's perspective, but just as a conscientious observer, watching the news, watching these shows, listening to perspectives, reading the newspapers, etc. I pay attention to some degree. Not an expert. But I watched a gentleman by the name of Dr. Anthony Fauci show up on Capitol Hill. Show up on Capitol Hill just this past Wednesday. And Dr. Fauci was up there and he was testifying. He was appearing before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee.
Fair use.
Because they wanted to know specifically about his knowledge in regards to the coronavirus pandemic and what role he may have played, inadvertently or otherwise, in what ravaged this country and this world for over a year, if not longer. 1.2 million American lives were lost.
He's reading a script now, saving face. A day late, $1 short. Who could care less? We have to be men in the midst of crisis. We have to stand with our brothers when they're standing for what's right in the midst of crisis. So it's okay to speak against it now as to why guys like this are speaking on it. See? It's safe to do it now. Now that they've got the intended consequence, which is what? The number of people with the shots they wanted. Go ahead, say something. But what about people that are dealing with adverse events, whose life will never be the same because they believe guys like this? And I don't know what it is about our people who are afraid to be shamed into doing things that can harm us. Only for them to come with your apologies is not going to take back some of the diagnoses that have happened for those who made those choices. It's all theater. Elder Lawya, give me those on science real quick, if you don't mind, if you will, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because he said what? trust the science. We don't trust their science at all. Their science folks tell us that we, people, came out of apes. That's their science, folks. That men were monkeys, primates, and turned to people. You got to be out of your mind to believe that. Are you still waiting for a monkey to turn into a person? We don't trust their science. We never did. And the Bible tells us not to trust their science because why? The Satanists would use science. They will use science to destabilize believers, to have us question how God created everything. And if you can question God's hand in creation, everything is on the table to get questioned. Chapter and verse, Elder.
All right, the first one, Job 13:4.
Job 13:4. Thank you, Elder. Let me get that first. Job 13, verse 4. And folks, we were out speaking the other day, Elder Lawya, and I was talking about outright speaking out, and it was hot outside and all of that. And out of nowhere, I was talking about how ridiculous we are walking up and down the street with masks on. Now, I didn't know. I was just talking about it in general. And who was the first one who turned around and felt a certain type of way, even though I didn't see her? An older woman with a mask was ready to fuss me down, and she by herself and ain't nothing going on. And I've told people that, guess what? Fauci even admitted that masks weren't necessary.
That's right.
Fauci said it. I can pull it up. I'm out there telling them things that the news won't tell them, the doctors won't. And she was ready to go at it with me just because she had a mask. I'm like, ma'am, all due respect, ma'am, you can knock yourself out. I wasn't aiming this towards you. You can put 3 of them on if you want. But then it came out with people who wear masks. Guess what? It disturbs your regular breathing pattern if you have it on all the time. Look it up. And you'll end up with breathing issues. Okay? And guess what? That's real science that they know. So what happens if you're not breathing in regular bacteria and trading normal bacteria with the population? Well, when you eventually run into a person with a sickness because you're not trading bacteria, that sickness become more virulent. When if you were breathing the same air, your body has already adjusted itself and immune itself to anything that's in the air. But if you stay covered, when you do encounter a cold, it will be the worst cold you have ever encountered. And that's science. That's regular science. And then you will say, man, COVID is real. I never had a cold like this. Not realizing that the cold is that virulent because you haven't been exchanging bacteria with other people. Let's read this, Elder. Job 13:4. Thank you all for everything y'all do to support the work. But we're revisiting this for a reason because, folks, the next one is going to be a doozy. Job 13:4, read it.
But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
Read that again.
But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
You are all physicians of no value. Forgers of lies. Okay, let me have Mr. Kennedy ask Fauci the question again. Fair use.
Pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Based on his...
Look at that. They are forgers of lies. How many of you know that Fauci is actually a Jesuit? Oh, y'all don't know that? Look at this. They've been sent from the Vatican, folks. Look. How many of you know that? Look. Look at this. Georgetown University. Here's the demon, Ignatius Loyola, behind him. This is the clown that came up with the ideology of the rapture in the end of the 16th century. This fool right here, that all the Jesuits look up to, who worship Semiramis, and they call her Mary the Virgin. These are sorcerers, folks. Here you go right here. Dr. Fauci reflects on how he's lived out his Jesuit values in his career. The Jesuits go right back to the Knights Templar, folks. The Dark Knights of Rome. They try to hide themselves under the banner of apologetics today. Huh? Thank you, 12 Tribe Vibe. See? He's the guy that came up with that clown thing of HIV causes AIDS and all of that so that they can get finances towards aiming certain things at our community. Come to find out, our people started taking AZT, which is a DNA destroyer, as medicine for HIV and AIDS. Let's read that again. Read that again. Ye are what?
Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies.
But ye are forgers of lies. Read.
Ye are all physicians of no value.
They are physicians of no value. See? They are physicians of no value. Like I said at the teaching, Elder, I'm glad you brought that scripture out. Anytime you have to keep going to the doctors for medication, that's a sorry doctor. What type of doctor that doesn't cure people? Think about it. And you become a permanent customer, and they'll just add on more diagnoses to have you popping all these pills with all these side effects. That's a sorry doctor if you got to keep going back to them with sicknesses. That's like taking your car to a mechanic and you pay him to fix it and got to keep bringing your car back to fix the same thing over and over. That what he claimed he fixed last month, it's broke again. That's a sorry mechanic. Forgers of lies. Physicians of no value. Now think about it, folks. I even showed it out on the street, folks. Where the FDA, the CDC, from the government, they came out outright and said the amputations and all of that came from a certain drug that they were diagnosing people with diabetes and strokes. And we thought the amputations growing up was directly linked to diabetes. Forgers of lies. And physicians of no value, because physicians are supposed to heal, not make people repeat customers. I go back to my grandmother, live 100, 101, 102 years old down south. And their doctor used to come with the stethoscope and a black bag with 2 aspirins in it. And live longer and a better quality of life than this so-called advanced science in our modern day society when it comes to science and healthcare. I really appreciate it, Andrea. Bless you. I really appreciate it. Forgers of lies. What else you got, Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir. 1 Timothy 6:20.
1 Timothy 6, verse 20. Now, is there a place for doctors? There is a place for them. Under acute situations, doctors are a necessity. If you get a broken leg, or you may need something to help you get over a cold or things like that, yes, they are a necessity. But at the end of the day, we must take full autonomy of the temple God gave us. You only get one of these. So we have to measure how much of that system we utilize. They can't tell us what should be utilized. You determine that. You determine that because what? They're in the business of pushing the pharmaceuticals. That's their business. That's how they send their children to college. That's how they're able to live a nice life. If they don't prescribe pills, if they don't push what the pharmaceuticals are doing, they're out of business. So they're going to do what they do. But if they know they're dealing with a cautious person, a person who really don't like to take that, there's always alternatives. And usually the alternatives our people refuse to ask and say, listen, that could be a little abrasive. I looked up the side effects. I really don't want to deal with that. Is there something that I don't have to be on for the rest of my life to deal with this current issue now? That's it. Let's read it, Elder.
Yes, sir. 1 Timothy 6:20.
As my soul, thank you for the membership. I really appreciate it. Bless you. Bless you. Let's read that.
1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science, falsely so called.
And oppositions of science, falsely so called. So the Bible had us looking out in caution when it comes to science. Satanists will tell you to trust their science. And guess what? If you fall out, if you die, there's no apologies. They'll just say, well, hey, there's some rare disease no one know about and we don't know where it came from. You know what I mean? Deuces. They could care less. And folks, you must really examine, give one a double take when they claim to help you. When not so long ago, the same people was telling us there's too many people on earth. If there's too many people and they're looking to depopulate, why would I trust these people to live? The same people that are saying, well, here's some good stuff for you, just said not too long ago, we need to do something about the Earth's population. Put two and two together. Right? But then what they want you to do is vax that thing up. Oh, we're going to put that on, then we're going to go to the next one.
Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You're a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up? Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You're a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up? Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up.
They think we are a joke, folks. They think we are a joke. Okay. And then during the time that Kyrie Irving was saying, listen, he's saying, listen, I'm not saying that other people shouldn't get it. Kyrie was saying, look, I respect other decisions, but I need you in like kind to respect my decision. I'm not feeling that, is what Kyrie said. Man, I respect that brother. Against all odds, with the threat of him losing everything he's been practicing for since the 4th grade. And he stood on what was right. Fair use. So then, some people, intersexualities and all, had to give us the tea. All right.
Welcome back to TGIF. All right, y'all. At the top of the month, questions were raised about Kyrie Irving's vaccination status after he joined the Brooklyn Nets media day virtually. Now, Fox Sports had previously cited that Kyrie had not received his first shot of the vaccine.
Fair use.
Now, according to Tim Bontemps of ESPN, players who miss games due to being
so they're already on the second and third one. He haven't received his first one. Are you kidding me?
Unvaccinated will risk losing out on $191.6 of their yearly salary. For Irving, that risk means a possible $380,000 will be deducted from his salary per game.
Look at that.
What are your thoughts on the story? I know there's a really strict New York vaccine protocol, and players
now,
in New York, the market, they have to have
outright. What real man gonna listen to these two guys? Listen, Kyrie Irving is a man's man. Who's going to listen to these two guys? Look who they have representing us. And this is why they love soft representation for a black man. Because what? They are easily compromised and fearful. That's the representation they want for black men right here. Okay? Those who are compromised uncomfortably with other men.
Have at least one vaccination shot just to even practice in New York. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I am all for freedom of speech. I am all for freedom of choice, but freedom of speech nor freedom of choice mean freedom of consequence. Additionally, with New York being as stacked and as densely populated as it is, I think the vaccination mandate is it's a necessary evil, especially when you're talking.
When are we to capitulate to necessary evils? A necessary evil. Listen to the people that were, that was wagging their finger at us years ago.
Populated as it is, I think the vaccination mandate is it's a necessary evil, especially when you're talking about a basketball player playing in a New York arena with New York fans that can go out and then spread it, COVID all amongst a New York City. It's a necessary evil, and to some, it's infringing upon people's rights or whatever the case may be. But in the case of Kyrie Irving, I really do not care. You live a...
Breathing now, back then, folks, was infringing on other people's rights. Now, if that's not upside down, I don't know what is. The only rights that were infringed upon were Kyrie's rights. So breathing now, I'm going to show you how they turned everything upside down based on the examples we gave you of the stupor earlier, folks. They turned reality upside down. So breathing and doing what you naturally do is infringing on everyone's rights. It's called the stupor. And who would listen to what this guy had to say anyway?
A very extremely privileged life. It comes with a cost. Getting the vaccine is the damn cost. Pay the fine or move and go do something else.
Al, what do you think?
Now you see why they want compromised men as our spokesmen? Now y'all see it? Here go your new civil rights leaders. And this guy, what's going on here?
You know, let's just have a serious conversation about this. We're not talking about $380,000 for Kyrie. We're talking about if he stays unvaccinated for the entire season, we're talking about $15 million, this young.
So now this pocket watcher is talking about how much money Kyrie is going to not have for making a choice for his life. So Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think that Kyrie already did the numbers and understood what he was sacrificing financially? Who would know that more than him?
You just took the words right out of my head. Absolutely. I think he counted the cost before he took up this battle.
Yeah, he knew exactly how much. Believe it or not, his I'm sure his agents told him. Like, hold up, man. You know. What about your investments? Whatever. What we're gonna do to sustain you during this time? Of course, the commissioner pulled him in the room and say, "Hey." But now this pocket watcher is sitting there counting his pockets and doing what? This is not for Kyrie in particular. It's to turn the world against Kyrie. That's what the media was doing. It was turning people against people. And I would listen to anything these soft cats have to say anyway.
Man has to forfeit. And I would hope, number one, that he's much smarter than that. Okay.
So he's dumb. You get these sexually compromised folks wagging their fingers as if they are the authority. And folks, the internet when I was growing up, these people like this, they knew to stay in their place. You don't get in real men's business. But the internet has allowed these people to operate and talk safely. Okay? These guys were only in private conversations and jumping rope with other little girls and all that. They knew not to come on a basketball court. Okay? Now when it comes to plaiting hair or going upstairs and grabbing your sister's barrettes or something to put for pigtails, that was the lane for these guys growing up. But the internet allowed people like this to be in grown men's business. Here go my man, Pots and Pans. Gaja.
Yes, sir.
My brother, I'm going to call you as soon as I'm done, all right?
All right, no problem.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
That's my brother. Right? Compromised. And look at this guy. Hold on. Hold up. Let me go back to Silky Slim. Fair use.
If we really want to talk about the vaccine, and we're not talking about fodder from or public fodder from television right now. We're talking about the truth of a vaccine. All right, you have to have 5 vaccines to even go to school these days. I mean, have we forgot? And these 5 vaccines, you have no idea what's in those vaccines. Number one.
So why are you allowing children to take it if you have no idea what's in them?
Exactly.
So that means you are a fool to trust something and give it to your children, and you have no idea what's going into your children's bloodstream.
One, you have to have a tetanus shot, a tetanus vaccine in order to go to school or college. Number 2, you have to have a hepatitis B vaccine.
Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, they have both committed an abomination, and they shall surely be put to death, saith the Lord. Repent. You don't have the moral high ground to say anything about brother Kyrie Irving. Okay? You swinging on the wrong side of the fence here. You should be focusing on getting your soul together before Christ sees you. I like Rich Eisen takes. I think he's very objective. I think he's poignant with some of his views. One of the old heads, right? Let's see what they were saying during this time. And we're talking, what, 4 years ago. I intentionally went there and got videos from 4 years ago, folks, to show you the hypocrisy of the society we live in and how people blindly trust certain things, certain initiatives, not realizing they're being what? Controlled by a spirit. Fair use.
Refusing to be vaccinated because he's anti-vaccine. This is what Shams Sharani reported yesterday, according
Fair
to
use.
sources. But he has an issue with vaccine mandates in corporate America, it seems. And he wants to, according to a quote, wants to give voice to the voiceless. And
oh man, this guy, he's hot and bothered, ain't he? How dare you Negroes not fall in line? Huh?
And I'll just say this, which I know is a nice little crutch I've been using lately, but I'll just say this. Speak. Who says they're voiceless? Every single day, it's all I hear about. Voiceless.
Yeah, because you ain't been around North Philly. You ain't been around where we live at, where they deputize our people to silence those who were against it. People who were against it were deemed outcast by their own family. That's what it means by what? Voiceless. If some of the people said out loud, had some trepidation concerning it, they were immediately shamed and separated. Only because a signal coming through a TV. That now families are at odds at one another. Folks, there were people divorcing husbands and wives because one chose not to do it. That's what it means by voiceless, dude. Folks, they went about 5 months straight shaming people. And at the whole time, I was coming on Wednesday, coming on Friday saying, y'all better not follow that stuff. Y'all better keep your eye on the Bible.
All you got to do is turn on Fox News every night. And they're the most watched cable network on cable television. How's that voiceless? By the way, every single person telling you that vaccine mandates stink, they got a vaccine mandate at Fox. By the way, we know a whole bunch of people who work at Fox.
They do.
I mean, hate to tell you, they're not on the air unless they've gotten the vaccine.
Fair use.
And they're not allowed in the building unless they get the vaccine to tell you don't take the vaccine with a mandate.
Oh yeah, because this wasn't just a black thing. The whole earth was under a stupor. The whole earth.
Oh, all right. I don't know how much I can lay this thing out. And Kyrie Irving is right now telling his Nets teammates he's taking up the mantle for the voiceless. And I'll just tell you this, Kyrie, if this is true. Many of the voiceless, you're kind of telling the Nets we need to put our whole concept of championship basketball season on the back burner. A lot of those voiceless thought that you speaking out with your voice on behalf of social justice, you should have shut up and dribbled.
You should have shut up and dribbled. Negro, put on the tap shoes and dance. Here's another voiceless for you. Imagine, folks, in the midst of a world crisis like none have ever experienced till our present time, and your grandmother is afraid, and they got all these things on TV, and your grandmother and your mother is being advised to leave them in the house by themselves. Think about that, folks. The psychological trauma that's on our grandmothers, our grandfathers, at a time when they need their families the most. And they've been programmed into believing that they are a disease against their own children. They can't even hug their babies. They can't even hug their grandbabies in the last days of their lives. Who had a voice for them? I need y'all to think about that, folks. They're already scared. We're social creatures, especially women. And now you got grandmothers by themselves, mothers by themselves, locked in the house and telling their children and grandchildren, don't come and see me. I'm the diseased. I'm the sick one. I'm the one that have pre-existing conditions and can get it more so than anyone else. So all of you stay away from me. We should never forget what happened there. What we sacrificed being selfish. When the government was able to put out a mandate through the air that pulled families apart and kept us away from those we love. And even scared them to where they were uncertain to a degree where they stayed in their house. How many of our people, just our grandmothers and all that, died from anxiety? In the room, losing their minds, thinking that they are the sickness that their family must avoid. That's how crazy this was. And then she's being told by herself, you go get this and you can get your family back. The same children, brothers and sisters, she almost died bringing forth through pain. Grab a ball and dribble.
A lot of those voiceless thought that you speaking out with your voice on behalf of social justice, you should have shut up and dribbled.
Hank Aaron, a legend, who broke the ice for what you would call the Negro League. And what? That's right, folks. We were doing so well in baseball, they had to integrate it because even the whites was crossing over to see us play. The Negro League. Judah. Hank Aaron. He goes before everyone and say, listen, I'm a hero. I'm a living legend. I'll take it to ease the concerns of my people. Cameras everywhere. A month later, Hank Aaron dead. Fair use. Check this out.
The COVID shots increased your risk of 7 major cancers: bladder, breast, colorectal, thyroid, gastric cancer. There was 8.7 million people in both of these studies. And they compared vaccinated to unvaccinated. So the vaccinated are getting more cancers. We have all the case reports published. People get these shots, and then a day later, sometimes a week later, they get massive tumors, or the cancer starts to spread everywhere in the body. CDC Wonder data, official government data, shows that excess cancer deaths have shot straight up right after the mass vaccination.
And this is fair
campaigns.
use.
There's been hundreds of thousands, or over 100,000 excess cancer deaths in the United States from the shots. It appears the mass mRNA injection
fair
programs
use.
were one of the largest carcinogenic exposures in history.
Fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
CBS 2's Bradley Blackburn reports on a new large-scale study.
3 years ago.
New research finds people with COVID-19 have a higher risk of developing some neurological and psychiatric conditions up to 2 years after infection. Previous research from the University of Oxford found COVID-19 survivors were at risk of neurological and mental health conditions in the first 6 months after infection. Now,
what? Now, is this only talking about those who get COVID? Get COVID like one who catches a cold? Is it only talking about that, folks? Listen to this again, folks. And guess what? I'm going to put the closed captions on so y'all can read this slowly.
CBS 2's Bradley Blackburn reports on a new large-scale study. New research finds people with COVID-19 have a higher risk of developing some neurological and psychiatric conditions up to 2 years after infection. Previous research from the University of Oxford found COVID-19 survivors were at risk of neurological and mental health conditions in the first 6 months after infection.
Mental health conditions? How many times I told y'all, folks, that we're going to be witnessing some psychological aggressions? I told people back then, you're going to see people acting out mentally. Back then I said it. Unexplained psychological aggressions. So they make you believe that if you got it, caught it from someone, that you're going to get mental issues, right? That's what they would have you think. But maybe they were explaining something off. What do we have here? National Library of Medicine. Science. National Center for Biotechnology Information. PubMed Central. What does it say here? Psychiatric, crazy people stuff. Adverse reactions to what? Boom! Right there in your face. So when you see a lot of people acting out and you're like, well, hold up. I totally don't understand why this person is acting out. Folks, something is in them. I know people I've grown up with who did this without telling me. Some of the people are no longer here with me. But people I know and I grew up with, folks, when I speak to them, they're different. They're not the same people I knew before the pandemic. They're not the same people. And it's to a point where, Elder Lawya, I can talk to people outright. And then later on, I'll have a conversation with them so not to tie it together and make them suspect anything. I'll ask, hey, by the way, man, you take the vaccine? Oh, yeah, I had 2 of them. Okay. I understand now. I understand. They don't even know that they're different. But I can tell. Folks, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people, folks, who despite this church and despite this work, they went and took the vaccine. And they're dealing with psychotic episodes because the spirit in them is an ancient spirit that's seeking to attack. Tell you that right now. And now the science, the paperwork is out on it. A rapid review, psychiatric reactions to it. And folks, this is news. This is the Natural Library of Medicine. You can look up this yourself. Then you go all the way down and let's find out some of the things. Features. Alert but disoriented to time. Person, place, agitated with liable effects. Hallucinations, folks. Hallucinations. Altered mental status. Headaches, high fever. Look at this. Now someone who wasn't diagnosed before, diabetes and all of these things. Disoriented to time and place. Disordered. These are doctors who have put a lot of this stuff into journals, folks. Their mental status was altered. Doctors are putting these in journals. They were keeping data on this, but people aren't reading this. Psychosis. Same day. Irritable. Decreased sleep. Hallucinations. Delusions. Here it is. Pfizer, right here. Psychosis. Decreased sleep. Anxiety. Auditory. Hallucinations. Catatonia. mRNA. Psychosis. Hallucinations. Delusions. History of schizopathal traits or schizophrenia. Here it is right here. Psychosis. All on and on and on and on. It's right, folks. The information is out there for those who know where to look. Disorders, mental disorders, health disorders, all of this. And folks, you can't tell me that they didn't know the intended effects on any of these things because they research and have all types of tests before rolling stuff like this out. And this is why we have our man right here. What? Fauci doing what? Fair use.
Fifth Amendment right. It is true that you're appearing under direction of our subpoena to provide testimony on matters under consideration by the committee, including the origins of COVID-19, risky life sciences research, and your tenure as a federal government employee. Additionally, you've been provided a full and unconditional pardon dated January 19th, 2025, for any offenses against the United States which may have been committed or taken part from January 1st, 2014 through the date of the pardon for a 10-year period, arising from or in any manner related to your service as director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, as a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force or the White House COVID-19 response team, or as chief medical advisor to the president. Have you refused this pardon, or do you have any reason to believe this full and unconditional pardon, this grant of immunity, would somehow require you to plead the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. Let's look at that. Fifth Amendment. Look at this, folks. I know you all know what it is, but I need to show you what's going on. The Fifth Amendment rights. Look at this. Right? Why do one invoke the Fifth Amendment? Because what they say may lead to self-incrimination. In a nutshell, the Fifth Amendment, where what? The Fifth Amendment creates a number of rights relevant to both criminal and civil legal proceedings. In a criminal case, the Fifth Amendment guarantees the right to a grand jury, forbids double jeopardy, and protect against self-incrimination. He invoked the Fifth Amendment. He invoked the Fifth 111 times, which means 111 times if he would have said something based on everything he rolled out to make us trust his science, he would have been considered a criminal. So his lawyer told him, you must invoke the Fifth, because if you tell the truth about what you were really doing, if you tell the truth about how people were tricked into getting this, guess what, folks? Anybody died, any adverse effects, you know what that lawsuit would be? You have any idea? And folks, what's about to happen? It's going to happen again, but on steroids. I'm only talking about it now because everybody and their mother can claim to believe in God and claim that you have faith until that faith is actually tested. Until it's tested. And we're keeping our eyes on this, folks. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you this right now, folks. There's many people who claim they believe in God and Christ. Hey, I'm going to tell you this. Who probably learned under the church. Folks, we've been teaching publicly since 2008, 2009. It's 2026 now. People come and people go. But who has true faith? And I want to put this out there real quick, Elder. For those who missed it, man, we're pretty thick in here tonight. Thank you all. Thank you all. All praises to the Most High. The Most High said that a stupor would take the earth. Read that again if you can, Elder. Then I'm going to ask a question and open it up for conversation. Anything that you have, Elder Lawya, if you like to bring it forth, I'll yield the floor to you. But let's first go back here real quick.
Yes, sir.
Let's read. And I need the strong delusion verse, and we'll end it, and I'll bring it to you after that in Thessalonians, right? Let's read
yes, sir.
Matthew 25:1 real quick.
I'm
talking about Baruch. Excuse me, Baruch. Second Baruch 25:1.
Yes, sir. 2 Baruch 25 and verse 1. And he answered and said unto me, Thou too shall be preserved till that time, till the time that the sign of the Most High will work for the inhabitants of the earth in the end of days. This therefore shall be the sign. When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
When a what?
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth. What's a stupor? For those who missed it, the Most High told us thousands of years ago, the prophets, this would happen. A stupor.
Stupor.
Is a medical and psychological state of reduced responsiveness, dazed confusion, and partial unconsciousness. The whole earth was under a trance, and I'm speaking of those who really don't believe. From different walks of life, different ages, all of this. At one point in the earth, everyone was on Satan's program controlled by him. For those who had no faith. People can't come together for anything. But the whole earth got what? Got in line for this. Now suppose, just suppose, if the whole earth can get lockstep with the Almighty in righteousness like they were when it comes to what? Fighting for their families to get a vaccine. Imagine how much work can be done in this earth for good. So don't tell me people can't get on one accord. They can. See? They can. Okay? A stupor is a medical psychological state of reduced responsiveness, dazed, confusion, and partial unconsciousness. People were under a daze. They were being controlled. But for those with common sense, like Kyrie Irving, guess what? He was standing for what's right, and the whole world was getting turned against them. Folks, that is a beta test for the environment, for what you'll witness before the coming of Christ, when the mark of the beast is here and they turn all the people against those who believe in Christ. That was the test run. That was the test run. They were under a stupor. Why? Well, the stupor is for those who truly don't believe. Now, I pointed out Fauci, but Fauci is just playing his part as a dark prince, a dark Jesuit. That doesn't absolve people by claiming, well, this is what I was being told. Well, what did God say? Huh? The Bible tell you that what? We're not to defile our temple or be destroyed. A defilement of the temple is placing poison in your temple. Why do you think the Most High gave us a dietary law? These are the things you eat. This is what's going on. The stupor. And I'm going to tell y'all, folks, and this is why, I'm going to tell you, do not get caught up in confusion. Do not get caught up in going back and forth with people and all of that. 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with someone who have been taken through a spirit with the stuff in them. You have to understand, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. Spirits are overtaking people. They're under a psychosis. And a lot of that psychosis is what they've chose. And what this stuff does, it brings out what people were normally concealing in them. But now, instead of thinking it, they're saying it. They're doing it. That's the difference. Usually if you have the Holy Spirit, even if somebody is a little off or something, they have enough sense to say, okay, I know I'm off, so let me reel this back. I don't want other people to see I'm crazy. But that stuff, when some of the stuff is in you, guess what? Instead of you bridling your tongue, instead of you doing things to control, you can't control it. You're just doing it. We're hearing all types of weird things. How people are hacking up their children. How people are hearing voices in their head. One woman, with the voice was talking to it and said, white woman, look it up. And said, wait till your husband go to work and then delete your children. That'll be the only opportunity you have. A white couple. The guy comes back, children gone. She's bugged out of her mind. And no one is putting 2 and 2 together. Is any of these unexplained aggressions and actions, is it possible that it's a direct result of what was induced in the people who were under a stupor? And folks, you notice we've always stayed consistent in the faith of the Almighty, unwavering. We were like this since the beginning of this ministry, and we've been steadfast and never looked back and dropping what the Most High have given us to help our people. Elder Lawya, what say you, sir? Anything?
Yes, sir. Just two quick scriptures.
Yes, sir.
One of which you can break down. This is Proverbs 14 and 15.
All right, let me get it. Now you can break it down. I'll read it.
Yes, sir. Proverbs 14 and 15.
Proverbs 14, verse 15. All right. The 14 and 15, right?
Yes, sir.
The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going.
And this is exactly what we found out during the time of the so-called pandemic. We found out really how simple some of our people truly are. For example, for those of us who the Bible says looketh well into his going, we use common sense. And we saw how continuously throughout the whole course of this thing, they kept changing the narrative over and over. First, they said no masks were needed. You didn't need a mask. Then they said that a mask was mandatory. It was a necessity in order to stop the spread. People wore masks, yet, according to the official narrative, it was still being spread. Then they told you, well, in order to prevent the spread, we need to stand 6 feet apart, right? They threw out some arbitrary number telling us that if you stand 6 feet apart, it will slow up and stop the spread. Well, guess what happened? It still, according at least to the official narrative, did not stop the spread. Then they told us that, well, in order to stop the spread, everyone needs to get a jab. If you get the jab, it'll stop the spread, it'll slow things up, everything will go back to normal. Well, guess what happened after the so-called first round of jabs? It still did not stop the spread. So you had people sitting back. You would think that after the first round, people would come to a conclusion that, well, all of this is garbage. Up until this point, we have followed every single mandate that you've put forward, telling us that if we follow these mandates, if we follow these rules, if we wear the mask, if we stand 6 feet apart, if we close down certain businesses, which is another thing they told us, that, well, only certain businesses will be allowed to be open. Why? Because in doing so, it would stop the spread. You would think people would have caught up. But as the Bible says, the simple believeth every word. After they told you that after the first round of jabs, everything would go back to normal, and you saw that, well, hold up, we need another round of jabs. We need boosters. The boosters came out. What happened? Still didn't, quote unquote, according to the narrative. Now, we didn't believe any of it, but even according to their narrative, by their admission, even the boosters did not stop the spread. People got online for a second, third, fourth, some people a fifth round of jabs, and still didn't realize that it was all a farce. Why? Because according to the Bible, the simple believeth every word.
What else you got?
One more scripture. This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, and verse number 18. And this is for those, and we applaud, as you mentioned, you showed earlier, brothers like Kyrie Irving, who stood in the face of all adversity and opposition.
Aaron Rodgers, another guy who stood up.
Aaron Rodgers, another one. Ice Cube, he said that he lost or stood to lose, I think it was something like $8 million for turning down, I believe it was a movie role. Something he said he turned down.
It was $9 million for a role, but he had to agree to take the jab.
Exactly. And he decided that, well, my health and well-being is worth more than a few $1 million, right? Even the Bible tells you that to be poor in good estate of health is better to be rich with continual sickness. So that was a wise decision he made. However, there are many of you brothers and sisters who are on this line right now who are not famous, who are not millionaires, and were faced with the same exact decision. Your job was telling you that in order for you to continue to work, you had to take a jab. And many of you didn't have millions of dollars in the bank to be able to comfortably turn it down. Many of you were in situations in which you didn't know how you would live or how you would survive if you were to turn this thing down. And yet you turned it down. So it's you all that we applaud, the everyday brother and sister who may have not gotten the fame, may have not, your voice wasn't plastered all over social media. You didn't get the opportunity to get an interview. There wasn't $1 million check or whatever the case may be that would pretty much cushion or soften the blow of you losing your job, but yet you stood in faith against all adversity. And again, we applaud you for it, and we liken this. This is 2 Maccabees 6. I'm going to read this, verse number 18.
No, I'll read it for you.
Yes, sir.
Second Maccabees 6, verse 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
Right. So we're going to liken you to men like Eleazar, who was a great man, a Hebrew, an Israelite, who stood in the face of adversity. At this time, you had the Greeks, who, for their entertainment purposes, would get Israelites into their parties and try to force them to eat swine. So you're going to see how the correlation between how our forefathers in the past and our foremothers in the past withstood in the face of adversity against someone trying to impose something upon them which was against their belief. Verse 19.
But he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth, and came of his own accord to the torment.
So check this out. It says that he chose rather to die gloriously than to simply acquiesce and partake in the swine. And that's what many of you did when it came to this jab. Many of you were willing to lose it all in order to stand for what you believed in. Verse 20.
As it behoved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for life, for the love of life to be tasted. But they that had the charge of that wicked feast, of the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was unlawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat of the swine flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king.
Right, so they tried to make a bargain with him. They said, listen, you're well respected. You are a quote unquote, he would be what we would consider today a celebrity to our people, based on the type of life he lived. All the way from his youth up into his old age, he lived a righteous, restrained life. So he was well respected and well celebrated by our people. So we said, well, they said, listen, we'll allow you to go get a piece of meat that is lawful. Go get some beef. Go get some lamb. Bring it and eat it and tell the people that you ate pork. We'll make that bargain for you. And we liken that to what we saw with your TD Jakes and others who went before the people and got a quote unquote jab. And really, there's no telling whether or not they actually got the real thing. There's no telling whether or not many of them got a saline shot. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it was the optics to convince others. So not to shame the government or king before the people. So It's the optics. As long as if some of them just had a Band-Aid and would show it. But go on.
Exactly. But they did that knowing that it would be used to what? To sell it to you. to sell it to the simple, knowing that what? The simple believeth every word. And many of the simple would say, well, if TDJ's got it, surely I should get it, right? But read on. I'm sorry, I'm just going to read a few more verses and that's it. They can read the whole thing on their own time.
Go ahead.
Verse 22.
That in so doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, wherein was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. Therefore, he answered accordingly and willed them straightways to send him to the grave.
So he said, listen, I'd rather die than to sell my people out, to lie to my people. And that's the decision that many of you made in the face of adversity. That's the decision we've seen Brother Kyrie make. We saw many others make in the face of adversity. And again, you are to be applauded. Just as Brother Eleazar is documented, he's memorialized in the scriptures, and he's congratulated for his stand for the law of God. And with that, I yield.
And guess what? Hey, you got to think about it. Who had more to lose than him? Okay, you're talking about up in the millions. You even had, the unrepentant sassy guys on counting his pockets. We're not talking about 100,000 here. We're talking about 15 million. Right? So here it is. He understood. Let me tell you, he was ostracized and he stood for what's right. And I'm going to tell y'all, folks, it's going to be even worse the next time, because they already have tested the water to see how much people is going to sacrifice and what they're willing or what they're willing to do to keep their current image or life. They already understand who's going to capitulate. They already know it. But when the next time it happens, it's going to be real time where what? You're not going to be able. They tested it and say you couldn't go into the supermarket first. They wanted to see how far they can take it, Elder Lawya. And they were saying, well, you can't come into the supermarket without a vaccine card. Remember that?
Right.
So they was threatening a famine that you're not going to eat unless you do it. So that was the first test, but then they're going to switch it off. This is why Mandani is talking about the supermarkets, the government-owned supermarkets, because eventually all of them are going to be owned under the socialist model when the war comes back here, like I mentioned last Sabbath. Where not? Why you think they got the vaccines and the health stuff already where the food is? That's the end game. Like, listen, you can shop, but you got to go get that mark of the beast first. All right. And in that, we told y'all, folks, you're not going to have to take any tests or anything anymore, because with that reader in you, it'll have your blood pressure. It'll have everything about you. It's a reader. Like people are getting used to wearing those watches that tell them everything. It's going to be in you. And on top of that, if you do have a disease, it'll be recognized immediately, where they can diagnose you with COVID or whatever based on what's going on in your bloodstream, to know whether or not to quarantine you or to let you into the supermarket. And they already have everything in place, folks, because if you can't get in the supermarket, don't worry. They already have what? Robots and all that. We've seen the Uber carts without people out at speaking last Friday. They're gonna be able to quarantine people, because in your reader, it's going to say you got COVID and you have to stay in your house. And now you can order Uber Eats, or the robots will bring the food to your home. That was the beta test that's coming. But when they get that thing in them, it's game over. You think people are losing their mind now. At any time, a person can be used out of his mind, that's right, by an outside spirit to execute and create havoc any place they are. And they're going to turn these people against those who believe in the truth. You think they deem anti-vaxxers as the enemy. Well, folks, that's nothing in comparison to what's going to go down. Outright. So again, when we read the scriptures, now it's coming into full understanding the social climate Christ was talking about, the believers would live through before his coming. We never thought that it would be real-time what? Scenarios instituted through government that does what? Trigger the population against those who can actually see. And use campaigns to what? Pit people against one another. We never seen it in the framework until the pandemic was played out real sight before us in real time. Where now everybody was focused on those who would refuse it. See? So now when we read Matthew, the 24th chapter, it brings even more insight to it. Right? Look. All these are the beginning of sorrows. They shall deliver you up to be afflicted. Now these are people fighting against you. They're coming against you. And kill you. Folks, don't you know they were talking about people that don't have the vaccine are synonymous. They're walking weapons and making people believe that, hey, we must what? We must deal with lethal force through lethal force because these people are walking with things that can kill grandma. And you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. If you stand on God in Christ like Kyrie did, everyone is going to hate you. They're going to call you dumb. They're going to call you stupid. They're going to call you disrespectful. They're going to claim you need to be quarantined or ridded from the earth altogether. And folks, they were saying that on CNN. And there's a place these people need to get locked up at. And guess what? Everyone was talking about, yeah, these disrespectful people, they're stopping things from opening up around here. And then, listen, many shall be offended because you're not doing what they say and shall betray one another. Leave grandma somewhere to die amongst strangers. Husband and wife are now not seeing eye to eye because one chose not to do it and the other chose to do it. And shall hate one another. And when you go down, and you know why they was able to pull this off? This is why. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. People don't care like they used to. This is why the governments of the earth understood they can pull this off. Because people don't care for one another anymore. They're willing to sacrifice their own blood in order to sustain a lifestyle. But hey, I'm going to tell you right now, the Bible says your foes shall be they of their own household. So as we come closer to the end, brothers and sisters, knowing what we're navigating against, because a lot of people got this stuff and isn't saying it. Christ gave us spiritual keys on how to navigate through such a time. We're living in the last days. How do we navigate? Hey, when you go to Matthew 5, it tell you. Let me get that right here. Right here. Blessed are the peacemakers, because what? Those that got the stuff in them, folks, they're dealing with unexplained aggression. A lot of people out there have lost their mind and don't even understand why. Because they allow that spirit to overtake them. And on top of that, some of this is chemically induced. Where people can't hide their crazy anymore. That's the time of the stupor. So we're the peacemakers. For they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, like Kyrie was. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when a man shall revile you, say all types of stuff against you, and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake, because you stand for me. So what are we to do? Rejoice and be exceedingly glad. For great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. And Christ says, hey, you have to learn how to turn the other cheek. If you respond to these adverse, evil, wicked, deceptive spirits, you react to them, the spirit leaves them and enter you. Like, nah, you can see it and smile at it and pray. But nah, I'm not lowering myself and allow a low spirit to enter me. These are the days we're living in, folks. A dark spirit have entered the earth. And it's to a point where, like I said, the Most High moving his to the side and showing you who was never with him. The whole time. It's to the point where when the stupor operates in the earth, people who tried to conceal what they are must show who they are. So that the righteous can understand, okay, we're in the time before Christ returns. It's called the stupor. And it's deep because those who fall victim to what the government is telling you may fall. Or those who may engage who have been what? Convinced through the stupor by the government. You may interact with them and fall. When they try to bait you and pull you into something and fall. You got to see it's the same spirit on either side working in tandem. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. Satan has claimed his. And those who have eyes to see can clearly understand this and see it. How do you know one who's in Christ? They're peacemakers. They forgive. They love their neighbor. They show charity and help their friends. They help those they care about. Okay? That's how you know those who are in Christ. They don't just carry the gospel. They live it, and it shows forth with how they treat one another. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, don't let anyone take that virtue spirit. Satan is going to do everything to try to snatch that from you. Stand with Christ. Stand on your laurels. Stand on your morals. And Christ will be with you through the next test. He'll be with you. There's a deafening silence for those who are deputized as if the government paid them to push this, who are silent and ain't saying nothing without apologies. Old grandma's no longer here. This person ain't no longer here, and they were pushing it, and now they're silent as if they weren't what? Cursing people out and going against people who was trying to save grandma by saying, don't let her do this. So at any time, Satan can trigger these agents that leads to death. And what I'm doing, I'm keeping inventory, even through silence though. I can remember in my mind everybody that was around me or around my family, okay, who was operating outside the pocket as if they understood what was going on, listening to Fauci. And Fauci could care less about any of us. But guess what? It's still in my mind because I'm like, you know what? These are going to be the same people who Satan are going to use at the very end to try to stop us from saving other people. So I ask the Most High, any of the enemies, any of those that are against the work, Lord, at least have enough grace on me to show me them now. I'd rather see them on the outside of me than sitting there silent looking to destroy from the inside. And you know what? The Most High has had grace on us by allowing us to see it. (445-888-2759). You can chime in. We're going to be on for 30 minutes and then we'll wish you all Godspeed. No, you don't have to call. I need y'all to text because soon I'm going to have a queue phone where you can wait in the queue. But I'm waiting for that. I'm getting that very soon. The Academy is still open for those who would like to get there. We have 2 full months and we have giveaways starting next week if you'd like to be a part of that. I have a lot. We're going to give out books, all of that in the Academy. So please support the work. historytimes.org. What will we be talking about this next class, Elder?
Yes, sir. So this Sunday, the topic of discussion is the gods of Egypt and Canaan, the gods of the nations.
The gods of Egypt and Canaan, the gods of the nations. All right. This coming Sunday. You want to be a part of this. Precept, precept, precepts. And Elder Lawya does great with the Hebrew as well as the news. Shabbat, give it real time. We break down what's going on in Iran, what's going on geopolitically within the earth, and make it simple to understand. A lot of us turn off the news because we're like, it's over there. We live in America. Who cares, folks? I'm going to tell you this. What's happening over there is coming here. But we make it simple to understand, showing examples that we all come accustomed to understanding. So we frame it in a way where even the layman, whether or not you know anything geopolitically, we can break it down prophetically to let you know exactly what's going on and how long we have to get this stuff together before the curtain come down on Babylon. Shabbat does a great job with the news. And of course, all of your support. None of this would be possible without you. We love you. Continue to support it because there's nothing on earth like that Hebrew and Bible Academy. Okay? 445-888-2759. You can come on in. All right? And I really respect and thank you all for what you all do to help this work. Bless you. And what I'm going to do real quick for those, all right? I'm going to put in the chat. If you would like to come in, here's your opportunity. You can come in through Zoom. All right. You can come in through Zoom if you'd like to come in through Zoom. If you have a word, please have the conversation based on what we're talking about today. All right. We would like to edify through these particular lessons. All right. We have to edify. All right. And again, I'm going to have, and on another note, I'm going to have I'm going to have Brother tomorrow. Brother AC is going to put up a portion of the news when it comes to the name of the Most High, right? It's just a little piece that we did inside the Academy. I think that y'all would love that particular take that we have when it comes to the name. In a nutshell, again, the Most High gave his name to Moses. His name is Ahiah, period. You don't have to be a Hebrew scholar to understand that. Period. That's the name he gave, period. It's through that spirit the Most High has given us the gospel to teach throughout the four corners of the earth before he comes. We're not in no discussion questioning the Most High's name, especially with people who we didn't know when he gave it to us. We didn't ask anyone to be baptized in this name. Anyone who came to be baptized in the name of Ahia Bashim Yeshua Rawchaa, they came to us and we baptized them upon their request. We never forced anyone to believe what the Most High have shown us. It's all been voluntary, and people have followed what the Most High have given us without any level of pressure. And if you don't believe, that's fine too. There is no debate. There is no discussion. What you do is you take what the Most High have given you, anyone out there who believes something different, and do a work with it. And the Most High will find favor in that work. Okay? We're not changing what the Most High have given us. It's through that spirit you've all met us. We don't have to change it, because when Moses asked the Most High his name, he told him. Now, whether anyone agree or disagree, there's no argument here. We were sent to declare it. And there was many people who didn't believe in the Most High name when it was delivered. So I wanted to put that out there real quick. And let me read this real quick. All right? I'm going to pull this up real quick before I pull people in. Because you got spirits out there who would like to sow doubt or stumbling blocks in front of people with the full intent to stumble people who follow the work here. That's it. Just to get in front of people, to confuse them before they have an opportunity to be grounded. All right? So understand this. Okay? We have delivered the Most High's name. Before any of these people sought us out for anything. And we hold the name, and we've baptized many people throughout the earth in that name. 3 hours straight in the name of the Most High in Christ. And it was the gospel that delivered them, that had these people reach out to us and say, you know what? Let's go. So understand that. And we stand on it. Let me read this real quick. Check this out, folks. Romans 10:13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Name, that's singular. We know the Tetragrammaton is in the Old Testament. You think we didn't know it? But that's not the Most High's name. The name was given to Moses. Period. I am that I am. There ain't no second name. There's only one name. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Well, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? Like I said, brothers and sisters, there was no debate or argument about the Most High's name until the Most High had us reveal his name before the world that was given to Moses. Everyone else out there readily accepted Jehovah, Yahweh. There was no arguments or debates at all. They just accepted whatever the Gentiles gave them, including the Jewish people. Understand that. There's a reason why there's a fervent hatred that's trying to turn people away from the name that was given to Moses before he delivered our people. Now it's a debate on the name. Well, not on our part. It ain't no debate on our part. We delivered it. And guess what? Through the Most High's name, fruit has been produced for his kingdom. Now, if there's another name, let's see you do some work with it. See that? Because what? What's produced through fruit show forth the God we serve. See? Something that was produced from it. From the invisible, thousands upon thousands of people believe on a name that wasn't in the earth and was concealed by those in authority in fear of what would happen if the children of Israel called on him again. And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, listen to this, and how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? You heard Yahweh. You heard it, Tetragrammaton. What's the one name that they refuse to give the population, the world's population, in fear of Israel finding our God? Ahaya is his name. Now, you don't have to believe it. Call him whoever you want. Because the whole point of the name is not to debate whether or not it's right or wrong. If you know the name, pray and do what? Pay homage to that God and connect with him for guidance. Whoever the God, hey, I'll tell you what. Muslims, they pray to Allah. See? So it's not a name debate. It's the God that they believe they serve who will hear their prayers. Even though he's not the God, Allah is not the God. But they showing forth their true reverence by not debating the name, but by serving that God. So when it comes to the name, it's not open for debate. Show forth the works of the God you believe he is. According to the name you believe, you serve that God. You keep the commandments and show forth fruit on earth. That's what you got the name for. To serve that God. Not to debate and go into all this and go. Nah. If you know the name, show us some works from the God you serve. See how that works? It's not open for debate at all. He said his name is Ahaya. Case closed. Any arguments? Take it up with him. How then shall they call on the name of whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? So there's preachers out there's preachers who actually do work and bring people to Christ's kingdom and help people. And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written. Look how wonderful this is. How beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. See that? That's what it's about. When Christ is being taught. That's what it's about. Bringing souls to Christ's kingdom in the name of Ahaya. Right? Boom. Real quick, let me open it up. Real quick. Right? And then we'll wish you all Godspeed. We will not be on here long at all. Right? Let me get here. Yeah, so the whole thing is, if someone believes in another name, it won't be the first time. Go serve that God you believe in. Okay? And that's fair, right? Go serve the God you believe in. But I'll tell you this, though. If someone, I told people, you have to be careful dealing with people who full existence is to put stumbling blocks in front of other people. Whatever you do, if you link in with haters and find something that leads you off worse than you was, don't try to look at us negatively or try to blame us. We did what the Most High said for you. We delivered you the word. somebody trip you up and make you as confused as they are, hey, the internet is a crazy world. It's on you. But when the poison is instilled, sometimes, I'm going to tell you, that poison is too virulent to get rid of. All right. So here we are. I have Zoom for those who would like to come in. All right. And when you come in, make sure you have your visual. That means your video and your audio on, please. If you want to come in through phone, text 445-888-2759 and I'll bring you in. And when you come in, make sure you have your visual. That means your video and your audio on, please. If you want to come in through phone, text 445-888-2759 and I'll bring you in. How you doing, brother Vincent? Can you please turn off the YouTube or mute it for me, please?
I just did it. Am I still here?
Oh yeah, you're here. Can you see me? You see me, right?
Yeah, I see you now.
All right, good. Good to see you, young man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm grinding. It's a hot summer, so I'm working 12-hour days, but it's what it is.
All right, let me bring you in over here real quick. All right. Real quick, let me ask you. I guess you have something to say on the topic tonight.
Yes, as I want to make sure you didn't have a specific question you wanted to get answered first.
No. It's open as long as it's on topic. The floor is yours.
As far as the Kyrie Irving, the COVID, Dr. Fauci, is that the broad spectrum? I want to make sure that was it.
Yeah. Whatever. As long as it's on the topic of what we're talking about, in particular about how people were they deputized themselves as if they were working for the government. They were turning on their own families. You had people in the house losing their minds through solitary confinement. You had people divorcing, all types of crazy stuff going on when really there was nothing going on. There was nothing happening that would warrant that much divisiveness. So, but any place you would like to take it, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Man, it's so many areas. I read so many things. I know, of course, there's the rat experiment where it talks about how they built, people to basically step on top of each other, the man, and to deplete the resources. But it talks a lot about a COVID situation because it's a simulation scenario where it gets people in a bind to come at one another to show what side they're on. Are you on the side of government? Or are you on the side of faith? If you believe in God and Christ, there's nothing you're going to put in my body. There's no way you can say my body, my choice, and have that standpoint and then put that in your body on the opposite side and it be a hypocrisy. So it's just the COVID scenario really highlighted, I was going to family events and they were, I can't come if I can't wear the mask, and they would show up and I'd dap them up and I didn't care nothing about it. And I'm showing up at places with nothing on and I'm doing my work because I understand what it is. But for a lot of people, I appreciate Kyrie and his platform and what he was doing. I appreciate even Aaron Rodgers because it's showing from even an Israelite and a Gentile standpoint, they didn't care about either of those brothers. If you against the game, we're going to take both of you out. And it highlights they really don't care about you, particularly as an individual. When they put out an agenda and you're against the agenda, you're X'd out the game, and that's just what it is. And when I seen that coming down the pipeline, and they always have some lackey coming out who isn't even, he's just a lapdog pleading the fifth.
Well, let me ask you this question to get it on point to at least get some edification here.
Yes, sir.
Number one, I would like you to give me your take on Fauci, number one, pleading the fifth 111 times. That's number one. Number two, during that time when they were pressuring people, using the everyday person as a they was deputizing the society against one another. Were you facing the same dilemma in having to take the vaccine?
I'll do the first one with Dr. Fauci. Him pleading the fifth, I believe higher up sorcery, from all the things I read, they send a Lawya out as, they know the law game. Pirates created the laws. So they went out, they just send their guy out there just to plead the fifth. And they just have him being the front man for just taking all the hits, knowing that they basically screwed the pooch. And so he just sitting there having to take it because he was the front man the whole time. And that's, I think, the same evaluation for the presidency, which is when I was going to school. It's an old thing where through history, the British, when they were really like lighting the White House on fire and all those things, they really were not too key with America trying to get away from the dollar and all those things. That's going on a whole other standpoint. Was I feeling the hit when I was the COVID? With family, of course. I had a lot of,
so what was your circumstances? Was there pressure from the job or from the outside?
Absolutely.
Explain real quick, if you can, and quantify it, what those pressures were.
I had to drive around with basically a pass-through to do my job. And if I was caught without this pass, I really couldn't do my job in the beginning stages of it when I was in Texas area. My wife was in a hospital. She was going through strenuous things. I pulled her out of there, told her to quit the job, don't work no more. I'll figure things out. You can stay here and I'll get it together. You're not going to stay there no more. She stayed there. She hasn't worked since. Then there was standpoints where going to family events, more of the men were on the side of, hey, because it's funny because...
on the side of what? What was the men doing?
They really don't go to the hospital, period. So they was like, I don't know, man. But the bug in the ear was the wife was really compounding him. I don't know about this, and putting pressure. And so...
So what you're saying in a nutshell, because you're speaking in fragment, the women were more so pushing the government line and men were more hesitant, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. That's what I seen. I showed up to places and a man was completely against it, had nothing he wanted to do with it. And his wife was talking to the next door neighbor who was a doctor and was already had taken a practice test. And he was like, what? And he was so caught off guard. And then she later on had got not only the daughter who was going to school to get it, if they was going to go on vacation, they had to get it, and got the husband when he got sick to get it. And then she's looking at my wife, and I said, there's no chance. You already know better to come over here. And then now we're looking at, and there's no apologies. There's no nothing. We're both in the same spot. We both made it through, but they're more getting sick. And I haven't called in on a sick day for any of my jobs in 3 years.
So they getting sick like what? We'll leave you with this last thing. What type of sicknesses? They always calling out with different issues or what?
Different colds, different pneumonias, different respiratory issues that they're having, and we haven't had any of those things.
So have you ever came back to them and said, you know what, maybe that choice, not blaming you, but do you think these reoccurring sicknesses could be because of your compromised immunity after taking it? Have you spoken with them?
Absolutely.
And what do they think? They're denying it.
For sure. It's not any ambiguity I'm casting on them. It's just all kindness, but it's just not what they want to hear.
The stupor. Well, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.
612. I said text and we'll call you, okay?
Come, Elder.
Shalom. I said text and we'll call you, okay? We can't call because you're holding up the line. Just text and we'll make sure we call you back, okay?
Khan Elder Tawada.
Are you in the bar? Text the topic that you would like to discuss with your phone number and we'll call you. Thank you. If you want to get on through the phone, text. Just text and say, I would like to speak on the topic. All right? And I'll bring you in. We have 2 more and any other calls, then we'll go from there. We have Hayaman Yasha'Allah, and we also have Drew Minor. Hayaman Yasha'Allah. Okay, Adrian from DMV. I'm going to bring you in now. Adrian. One second.
Hey, Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, sir. Your name and area?
Yeah, my name is Brother Adrian, baptized member of the DMV.
DMV, my brother. Bless you, my brother. You said you had a point on the topic this evening?
Yeah. I was watching the beginning of this. I had to leave before coming back to, just have dinner and put the babies to bed. But
okay.
What I've gathered from the beginning of watching what I've seen, I mean, to me, it seems like they're exposing their formula. They make the people addicts. They addict them to substance. They make them poor, offer substance at a cost now greater than currency in exchange for their bodies or souls. And, when you talk about people getting jabs for French fries, or they was giving out free weed over here in D.C., they giving out whatever they can to the people to get them to agree. Now, my parents went for it, right? But they repented. Actually, both of them are baptized members of the church currently. And,
okay, were they members before?
No, I was, and COVID had me and my wife move in the house with them.
Okay.
And it was a lot at that time that I probably can't disclose publicly. But when all was said and done, the jab came out, and just like most people, they had, everybody got a reason. I got to go here. I got to travel there. I need my job. I need to see this person, right? Or whatever, right? And
so what was it like in their home living with them? Not taking the jab. Did they pressure you while living there?
No, they kind of tried to hide it from me. They tried to do it without telling me.
Okay, so they already understood your stance and they did it privately without telling you.
Yes.
Yes. Same thing that was going on with some of my family that I found out later, and I was so disappointed because I got a brother that was seriously vaccine damaged, and he didn't even have to do it. If it's right, why would you hide it?
Yes.
That's how you know it wasn't right. Because if you thought it was right, you would just do it out front without any shame.
Right.
So obviously there was something in them. Well, they felt they needed to do it to get business done, right?
Yes. Yes. There was a lot going on in the family. People died in our family, and COVID was the culprit or alleged culprit in certain deaths. Yes. And so the family wanted to travel to go here and there and see each other and be amongst each other, and they felt that was part of the necessity. And
let me tell you,
they fell for it.
Brother, that's one thing I can respect about the time before segregation.
Yeah.
There's nothing the enemy that could have told us back then that we would have complied with. Like,
Yeah.
we understood that they meant us no good back then. And like, nah, we good. The pastors, our businessmen, those of academia, we was like, nah, we control our communities. Nah, you got to get through us. Nah, we understood the enemy. Segregation allowed them to bring in their pharmacy and all that to destroy our children and all of that from the inside. And it's unfortunate, but again, you know, the Most High has a hand in what we're witnessing right now. And he's showing forth throughout the whole earth who truly believe in him and those who are operating without faith at the end of the day. Right?
Yes, sir. And if there's something I can say into respect to that, I'm 36 years old. So I actually really appreciate being able to hear the perspective of, yo, there was a time where we didn't need to hear what these folks had to say about how we're living. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember my granddad and how he chose to leave this world, and, you know, the Most High rest his soul. Like, at the end of the day, he made his decisions based on how he felt with his position and his beliefs. And so, like I said, my parents, they've repented. They've fallen under the guidance of the church. They're baptized. So far, nobody's been in any serious medical repercussion of this thing because of, you know, I mean, my parents take very careful care for their health.
Praise the Most High.
You know, yeah. They exercise and eat well.
Good.
So,
well,
you know,
well,
I'm
at
happy
least,
for that.
well, I can say when we run into the next challenge, they'll be ready. They'll be ready, right?
Yes.
Right,
They're getting ready to have their first Feast of Tabernacles with us, and they are so excited, and as am I. So.
Oh man, the Feast of Tabernacles, it's going to be something different.
Yes, sir. I can't wait.
And we're gonna have gatherings, we're gonna have prayers, and we're gonna have some type of event every night, right?
Oh, praise.
So thank you, my brother. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely, Elder. Love you, man.
Love you too, brother. Bless you. We have brother Hyman. Before I bring you in real quick, I'm going to say this, right? When we bring this forth, it's not an indictment where those who made those choices at that time need to be ashamed. If the Most High delivered you through that, he has shown his grace. He has shown his grace, and what you have to do through that grace is make sure, right, the right decision is made the next time, that you will stand with him through the next challenge and the next test. Many did it and didn't have an opportunity to have another opportunity to pass the next test. Some people aren't with us. So the Most High showed grace, and let's thank the Most High for the grace He's given us, even for those who took it for whatever reason. We're not indicting you. We don't blame you for anything. That's between you and the Most High. But, you know, I would strongly suggest that you lean on the Most High during times of crisis and not follow what they're rolling out against our people. All right? And that's my suggestion, but still it's your life at the end of the day. But I wanted to let everybody know, even if somebody told me, people told me they've taken it, I don't see people any different. All right? I mean, that was your choice, your body. But again, just try to make a better choice the next time if that happened. Hyman, how you doing, Hyman? We're bringing Hyman in first because he was here first. Then we're going to bring in Victus, then Drew Minor, and that will conclude our broadcast for today. How you doing this evening? How you doing, Hyman?
My elder, my brother from the same mother. How you doing?
Blessings, brother. The floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Shalom to Elder Lawya as well.
Where you from?
GOCC, New Jersey.
Bless you.
Bishop Aaron.
Yes. That's a blessed brother. Talk to me.
Yes, Elder. Something you mentioned real quick. It brought that scripture in mind. James 3:13 and 14. When you mentioned if you believe that whatever you have is the name, or whatever teaching you have is the truth, you should teach it.
Yeah.
Right? So it could bring forth fruit that people can see.
Yeah.
If the Most High is working with you.
Yeah.
So James 3:13 and 14 bring that out.
Oh, let me read it so that people can know. Because I don't know if people think that it offends me if they believe it's something different, or they have something where they think I'm personally attached to something, like I made a higher up or something. I'm like, listen, this is what he told Moses. We bear fruit through that spirit and it's manifest on earth. I'm not the one to talk to or deal with on this. You go to the Most High with it. The Most High show us that his name works. Right? So this is no conversation or debate. No matter how many people try to go scholars and this, that, and the other, knock yourself out and see what works come from the scholar that you're talking about. Is he bringing forth souls to the water? Is he showing our people the law, statutes, and commandments and bringing them towards the Most High's kingdom? Are they breaking down the prophecies that will prepare them in real time for what's going on in the earth? Is that God, whoever name you may call on, connecting with you to guide you through the current prophecies? And see, that's where the focus should be. Okay? I'm just a servant. So I don't know if people don't realize these videos and all that the people are saying. Brothers and sisters, when people do anything against this church, I haven't seen one video. Not one. Zero have I seen, because I know it's nonsense. And I know the intent isn't to edify and bring fruit to Christ. And if it's not for Christ, there's only two masters. It's to tear down any work that Christ would operate through the work we see here in this church. So all in all, if it ain't bringing forth fruit, it kills. So why would I look at it? Why would I look at something that's dead already? And that's why I'm warning people, hey, it's your life, your computer, your device. But when you take on that dead spirit, don't try to blame us, because the name we gave you is life. That's all you've ever received while watching us, is the truth. I'll read that real quick. James 3, 13 through 15.
Through 14.
Okay, let me read it. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthy, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. So where there's envy and strife, guess what? There's no root. It's dead. So again, I tell people, hey, anything that's out there against the church, since we began this work, there have been enemies against the church. Knock yourself out. I will not see one video against a work that any of these people out there speaking against the church, none of them can accomplish the work that they're witnessing, because they're devilish. The spirit ain't in them, because their focus would be Christ and doing work for Christ. If they got a channel, if they got a microphone on the streets, if they believe in Christ, they wouldn't be speaking about me. They would confess before the people and bring forth, when I say confess, they would confess with their mouth that Christ is Lord and that they are ambassadors towards his kingdom, and do a work that Christ would be proud of.
That's right.
Anything else is devilish. It can pull you down and make you feel dark. So I feel for people who look at things that are dark and dead already. Folks, let me tell y'all this. I know people are going to make videos against this work, because this work is productive. See? That's why even people who made stuff against this church, that's why they called us to be baptized, because the work was and is productive. I don't look at anything down that's devilish. I look up towards heaven and receive the understanding from the Almighty that leads us to Zion. Just remember that.
Right.
So be careful There's many devils who will try to cut you off at the knees before you had an opportunity to be rooted. And if so, it's on you. No skin off my back. I've never seen anything that anyone put out there against the church because it's stupid. All of it. Because it doesn't lead to kingdom. Right? So go ahead. What you have to say now, young man?
Yes, Elder. And mind you, we're in the time of, like you always bring forth, a prophecy at the end, where the focus should be the works and the truth. And now we're seeing what some of the people are doing out there. Elder, I remember during the time of COVID, I was actually driving to North Philly as well. I drive to 15 and Diamond. And I'm like, man, you know, it's a lot of stuff going on out there. I said, well, look at that. Look at the people. And I was actually, I don't know, it didn't really affect me like that because I was doing Lyft and Uber. And I'm out there doing what I do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I know it affected a lot of people. And it's going to get worse with what's coming next.
Oh, yeah. But, hey, with men like you who stand in the word of the Almighty, who the Most High have sent to do the work, as long as we have those who are fervent in the spirit, put their hand to the plow and never look back, brother, hey, the Most High have us in position to help those who are without or who haven't prepared. So as long as we have brothers like you in this work operating with us, hey, let's get it. Because
yes,
it's about to get way worse. But guess what? We navigated through that last pandemic unscathed.
That's right.
As a testament of what happens when you truly believe in the Most High and trust in Him through crisis. Thank you, my brother.
Shalom.
Shalom. All right, we have two more and we'll end it for tonight. We have brother Victus. How are you?
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
I
just want to start off by saying I'm not a member, but I do have a cousin that is a member.
Praise the Most High.
And he's been giving me a lot of teachings and stuff, so I have a lot of interest.
Okay.
I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
The first one in the book of Rawchaa. On my apocrypha, I only have chapter 1.
Yeah.
And I said, you guys pull from part 2. I had called him right there, and I was like, I can't find it.
Yeah.
So he told me to call. And my second question, in the Bible, when it talks about God, I notice sometimes you see God in the capital.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see it in the lowercase. And from my teacher, who's actually Pastor Gino Jennings, he seems to keep saying that Jesus Christ is God. And I'm like, that my spirit that never felt right with my spirit, because I know the Most High is the Most High and Jesus Christ is the Son of the Most High. So that part, it's not a confusion for me because I'm convicted in my spirit that that's what the truth is. But I just want to know, what is the capital case representing and what is the lowercase represent?
Okay.
And
okay, let's deal with it from the biblical perspective when it comes to the Godhead in a nutshell. All right?
Okay.
Because sometimes you'll have the Lord where it's the Most High, and then you'll have the Lord where it's a regular Lord or person, right? So let's not just deal with it from that angle, because we have to go into the Hebrew, but I can make it clear to you, dealing with one thing at a time, that cuts the chase. All right?
Okay. Yes.
The first thing, the reason why you can't find 2nd and 3rd Baruch is because they're in a separate record. All right?
Okay. Yes.
It's a pseudepigrapha of the Old Testament, but Baruch line flawlessly from one Baruch to the next. The same way you can't find Baruch in the regular King James Version, right? Well, there's more Baruchs that they didn't add to the King James Version that you can find in the pseudepigrapha. But you can always go to gatheringofchrist.org under the bibliography, and all of those, you can actually tap on those particular links that'll give you all the books we should be reading that the Bible refers us to. Okay? Now,
yes, sir.
So you think Christ is God, yes?
I believe the Most High is God. Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
Okay, so you know that Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I don't have to break that down.
No, sir.
All right. All right. So what you were asking in particular, let me pull this up here. So have you spoke to Gino, what's his name?
Gino Jennings.
Have you spoke to him about your situation?
No, I haven't.
Why?
I just, there's no particular reason. I live in Springfield, Massachusetts. So his church is in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And yeah, so I had to go to Boston when I joined up with the church.
Okay.
So I think they have they run out the YMCA. So that's where I met up there.
Okay. So let me go straight here to Genesis 18 and 26 and 27.
Okay.
Right? 18, 26 and 18 and 27, right? I'm going to go there with you real quick. All right?
Yes, sir.
I'm in the Bible. It states, and the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake, right? And as you can see, this Lord right here is all uppercase, Lord, right?
Yes, yes.
And then in the very next verse, 27, it reads, and Abraham answered and said, behold, now I've taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes, right? So what we do is we go to Genesis 18, verse 26 in the Hebrew. Let's go there real quick, right? That Lord, it shows the Tetragrammaton, or God, right?
Yep.
Which is Yahweh in the Tetragrammaton, right? Then we go down here to our Lord here in 27, and it says Adonai, right? Adonai, right? Which is also a different name of God, which is Adonai. You may hear that also amongst the Jewish people when it comes to Adonai or a God, right? So you'll see two separate. Elder Lawya is predominantly the Hebrew teacher, and he can break this down to why, Elder Lawya, if you will. In the 26th verse, it's uppercase. And in the 27th verse, it's Adonai. And why is there a difference between the two chapters? I mean, between the two verses, Elder.
Right. So the one that's uppercase, as you saw,
he don't hear you. Hold on. It's Adonai 27, and it's regular Tetragrammaton 26. He need to hear you here. Go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Hold on. Studio. Oh, go ahead, Lawya. You got it.
Yeah. So anytime you see it all caps,
hold on.
like in verse 20.
Oh, this is why. 1 second. Hold up, Lawya. Let me change it here. 1 second. All right. Studio display. All right, Lawya. There you go.
All right. So yes, and shalom, brother. I forgot. Can I get your name again?
My name is Freance.
Freance. Shalom and blessings, brother Freance. So yes, anytime you see the all caps, is going to be referring to the Tetragrammaton, which is, it's implying that the all caps is more so dealing with a personal name versus the when you see Lord spelled just with a capital L, but the rest of the letters are spelled, lowercase. That's more so representing the title, the title Lord. Okay. Adonai, as the elder just showed. So one is a title, one is more so to imply a personal name.
Right. Okay. So that's all that is?
That's the only difference between the two.
Okay.
So anytime you see anytime you see it all caps, it's going to be the Tetragrammaton versus When you see it again the other way, it's more so expressing the title of Lord, the title that or the position the Most High holds over us as Lord.
Okay. I understand that part.
You got it?
Yes, sir.
So Adonai is a position that he's Lord over us.
Okay.
But the tetragrammaton is usually denoting a name, all right, or the name. But when you go into Exodus 3, it breaks down that name that was given to Moses is Ahia. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
I am that I am. Yes, sir.
All right. And that's his name for how long?
Forever.
Let me read it. 3 and 13. Let me get it. All right. Exodus 3, verse 13. And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come to the children of Israel and say unto you them, the God of your fathers have sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And the God and the highest said to Moses, the Most High said to Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. And the Most High said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Lord thy God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever. Period. And this is my memorial unto all generations. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
All right, you got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
My brother, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.
All right, talk with you soon, and welcome to the faith.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right? And you know, I don't, listen, every servant has his place. And he would come to Geno Jennings. I seen him on the plane one time. He recognized me. I'm like, how you doing? Right? And I could tell he wanted to talk and all that. I said hello. He said, we got off Philadelphia together. He says, yeah, I'm like, good. How you doing? Right? In due time, the servants will all sit together and we'll talk. But I know one thing for sure that I was disappointed with in context of what we're talking about.
Right.
I really didn't like his stance when the vaccine came out.
I didn't get the vaccine, so.
I know, but he was encouraging it and he wasn't discouraging it. And for a man of faith, with that far a reach when it comes to influence,
right,
that's really a bad look for a servant of God.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I just became a member probably 2 years ago, so I wasn't when he was doing that. I didn't even know who he was.
Okay. All right. Well, hey. All right. Well, listen.
But I can assure you, if I seen that, that wouldn't even be. It wouldn't have been no question because I was always against the vaccine, and like you said earlier, you know, everybody that took that vaccine, that just goes to show right there where your faith lied, right then and there. So, for myself, I remember when it happened. They was trying to tell us we had to take it or we was going to get fired. And I took my badge. I was the only one in the whole building. I took my badge off. I threw it on the table. Is he going to leave for us? I'm done. I'm not. First of all, I serve God. And I trust in the Most High. I don't care what no man says. You know what I mean? And that's just my stance in life. That's just my spirit anyway. So I didn't care. And they saw that. And everybody started to follow. So they was like, oh, wait a minute. Everybody was like, well, he's leaving, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Because I'm a people person. And I helped a lot of guys out. And I was just like, wow, you don't really pay attention to that until you see like, oh, they're really ready to go. So they changed the whole script. By the end of the day, they changed everything. Oh, no, you don't have to go. Okay. But eventually I ended up leaving a couple years anyway after that. But that was just the first time, like, I already knew in my soul, like,
yeah,
that was never right.
I can respect that. And you said you threw your badge. What, you was a police officer?
No, I was a store manager at Walmart actually.
Oh, okay.
So I was there through the whole time at Walmart.
And you just threw your badge and say, "I'm good."
I was done. Yeah, I didn't care. Like what you can say that because they trying to say it like, first of all, I was like, oh, you can't tell me what I gotta do. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know, tell me I gotta get this shot. Okay, well here's the badge. And I'll happily leave. You know what I mean? I didn't care about whatever happened after that, the Lord would have took care of it. That's just how I feel. So,
hey, man. Yeah, so the Most High has always been with you. It's a faith. You've always had trust in Him, and I guess that's how the Most High guided us together, my brother.
Yes,
I can't wait to meet you when I get down there. I'm going to be down there soon.
Okay, I look forward to it. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Bless you, young
Thanks.
man. Bless you.
You too, sir. Thank you.
All right, look at that. All right, last one for today. Unmute, brother Drew, if you can unmute. All right. How you doing, Drew?
Pretty good. Can you see me? I didn't see my...
No, you would have to hit your camera in order for me to see you.
Got you. We are.
How you doing, Drew, my brother? How are you?
Man, I'm hanging in.
It look like you suited and booted and ready to go.
I'm suited and booted, man. Protecting the city out here in the cliff in Dallas. At work.
All right, talk to me. Talk to me. The floor is yours.
What's going on, boss? Yeah, I was kind of gonna switch. I'm on topic, but I did want to kind of bring a different side of the spectrum because, you know, I did get the jab, and I'm in the faith. I'm in the church, and I didn't get it. I'm familiar with Job. I know these guys, physicians, are of no value, and I do know Fauci, just staying on the topic, is one of the firm believers and of the same dynasty that looked to kill the Christ in Mark chapter 3 verse 6 with the Herodians. So I'm very familiar with these guys' plan, but I had some brothers that I usually talk the word to, and they're not really firm believers such as myself. And it was like, well, how could you get the jab being in the faith that you on? And these are people that don't even believe in the book such as myself.
Okay.
I know that.
So that's a good question. Well, that's a good question.
No,
why?
That's a great question. And that's what leads me. And I told these brothers the same thing. I told these brothers, listen, my grandmother, and it's not an excuse. I'm just answering the question. My grandmother is retired. The SSI check is our only income, so I work for her and myself. And if you're familiar with these scripts, we know that Solomon said that these ungodly people, such these Herodians, they oppress the poor righteous man. I think you guys made an example of millionaires or whatever that didn't have to get this, such as Kyrie Irving.
So why did you though? You get straight to that. Why, knowing that they weren't right, that you took it? Why?
Well, because I had to keep my employment, and it was in the real world, I wouldn't have had a way to support my grandmother and myself had I not got what I got. I didn't get it going into the pretense of this is health preservation. I got this specifically just to keep my job, and I'm a man of faith. But I got this to keep my employment.
See, so if you had to do it again, you would do it again?
No, and no, I wouldn't, because mistakes are made.
That's fine. So how's your health? How's your health since taking it?
I thank God I'm so far so good. I believe I probably got one of the placebos.
Okay, well, thank the Most High. Some of the bad stuff skipped you. How many did you get?
I think I got two. I forgot the name of it, but it was two. You had to get a double dose of it. I don't remember the exact brand. It's been so long ago, like 2021.
Did you get a metal detox to get any foreign metal pathogens out of you? Did you do a metal detox to get any metals out of you?
Yeah, I was doing dandelion root. I was doing dandelion root tea.
Okay, and, all right.
Yeah, I was doing that, and it's easier to oppress somebody in my position than no disrespect to the man, than a Kyrie who's a multimillionaire. I'm from, and no disrespect to Kyrie, I love him, but the truth is the truth. They the ungodly oppress the poor righteous man.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm not saying it gives me an excuse, but I am saying I told these brothers that's why I got it. But I may, Elder.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go ahead, but I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead.
Number one, brother, I really respect your honesty, because too many people are ashamed to say they did it, they've done it.
Yeah.
At least you're honest about it, right? So I do respect that. And the Most High have shown grace to you. No one can hold it against you, right? Everything is fine. It was your body, and the Most High gave you grace. You're here before me. I know people who are paralyzed right now. That they weren't as fortunate as you are, right? But
yes,
just say with this. Just put it this way. Suppose you were faced with a test where the Most High would have you do something, and it does mean you lose your job and can't take care of your grandmother. Then what? Because it's like this. It's like this. Mm-hmm. You don't know what the Most High had waiting for you. In the event you showed faith towards Him, and you'll never know.
That's true. If I may answer that question, and I'm only answering it, I was asked that same question by the brothers, and this is just my response. I referred to the scriptures in Peter. I'm nowhere near Peter, but I said Peter was faced with his life. He was given the kingdom keys, and Christ said, if any man denies me, I'll deny you in front of the Father. And Peter said, I'll die before I do that. And Christ, he informed him, and you'll deny me 3 times before you die. And the scripture said he did exactly that. And the angel that Mary seen instructed her to go get the disciples and Peter, because Peter knew that he was convicted with him that doing what he doing, especially with his position in the church. He was wrong. And I don't see in the scriptures anymore where Peter went back and denied the Christ again. But my example to those brothers with that was this. I thank the Most High for the Christ for this mercy. I'm not perfect.
All right, well, let me get something straight, because in context, I mean, I know you're trying to thread that needle, but you can't compare the two. All right? All right, because no, you can't compare the two. That was something where the government was instituting something, and you chose to follow them over the Most High. Right? So the whole, so I understand where you're going at it, but sometimes, you know what? It's just best to keep it where it is.
Yeah.
I was faced with a situation, and guess what? It was fair. You was in fear of not being able to provide for your grandmother. And the government knew that there would be people like you who would take a choice to take something that could be foreign or could damage you or whatever the case is for the sake of sustaining your grandmother. Even though your intentions were right, it was a straight lack of faith. Because you knew better, right? So the whole deal is, listen, at the end of the day, it's your life. And at the end of the day, instead of making excuses and using Peter, just say straight out, hey, I did it because I was pressured, and I did it. It was on me. That's it.
Right.
That's it. Don't bring Peter into it. All right? All right, my brother. You have a great night, all right?
Likewise. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you, Elder Lawya. You have a good night. I thank you for sharing with me, brother, and backing me up tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be reaching out tomorrow to call you. We got a lot of things in store for what we're going to do for the tabernacles. I got a big meeting that I want to have with the leadership next week. It's about to ramp up. So, Elder Lawya, thank you for all you do in this work. You're my brother in Christ. And make sure you have a good night and bless the family.
Yes, sir. You do the same.
My brother. Well, that concludes our broadcast for this evening. We are the children of Israel, and yes, we are back. Stay prayed up, sin not. We will soon see Israel. And brothers and sisters, hey, let's pass the next test together. Let's do it. Kingdom ready. Shalom.
Shalom.
Blessings. Oh, I need some music up here, don't I? I need some music. Where my music at? Oh, that's why.
In 721 BC,
good night.
The Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. Our highest gathering is Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us at gunpoint to gather our wives and children, then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. Gather us in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. Our highest gathering is right here. The Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. Our highest gathering is right here. Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans.